With a belly full of tacos, it's time for the Dirt Life Show.
Welcome. We are ready for episode 110 of the Dirt Life Show. We are in Phoenix, Arizona at Geiser Brothers Design and Development is what you said. Yeah, Design and Development. And we have the notorious Rick and Jeff Geiser sitting here with me. Both of them have been designing and developing winning race trucks for over 2 decades, which is just insane to me to think about. But Jeff and Rick here have created some of the most winning trophy trucks and short course trucks on the planet. From going 140 miles per hour across the desert, like they just did in Baja this past week, to 90 miles per hour plus in like places like Crandon into the first turn. These guys have been developing and leading the industry for so long, and for years to come they will as well. So welcome, Rick and Jeff, to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
We really appreciate you guys having us here. So I'm Georgie Hamill, and this is the Dirt Life Show. Like I said, it's episode 110, and we're in Phoenix, Arizona. It's really cool to be able to talk with you guys a little bit behind the scenes, as well as obviously we have a bunch of questions from the internet, Instagram and stuff like that. So it'll be really neat to kind of get behind the scenes and see what you guys are all about. I'm sure you guys, being 2 decades into all this stuff, you guys have had quite a bit of interviews and things like that in the past, but I know the audience really wants to talk with you guys as well. So
that's good. Yeah. A lot of changes been over the last 20 years and trying to get things rolling, keep things going.
Isn't it crazy how things change like that, though? Do you guys remember the first time you guys opened the doors of the shop and the first project you had?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Probably would have, if we knew things would have gone this way, we probably would have done things different before. But
change it up a little bit. So welcome everybody. We really appreciate you guys joining us. You guys can hit us up, like I said, with any of the questions that you guys have. Thank you guys for submitting so many questions already. So the highlights of today's show, we're going to, first of all, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I know you guys went to the dunes, both of you guys, or just?
Oh, I went to Rocky
Mexico.
Point.
Oh, you went to Mexico?
Went to the 1,000, then he goes, to Mexico. Then he goes.
How
back
does that
down
work?
Had to get a break. Yeah.
Get a break by going back. Well, you didn't go down to Baja, though. You went to Puerto Penasco?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of over on the Arizona side. That's actually where we frequented when we were younger, too. And we're going to talk about all kinds of things. I know you guys submitted some stuff. We want to talk about pre-runners, how much they've developed. We had a bunch of people asking about that electric truck, so I don't know if you guys can share some stories about that with us. Sure. We're going to talk a little bit about the Baja 1000, some of the stuff that Rick was telling me before the show about Matney's truck and the double-engine truck. I want to ask a couple questions about the latest project with the Hoonigans and Ken Block and Jack's Redline and stuff like that. Wanted to talk a little bit about RPM. Justin Smith is going to call in a little bit later from Shock Therapy, and he had some questions about like all-wheel drive and how things develop in the off-road industry. Get your guys' backstory a little bit and the progression of off-road, as well as, like I said, get to some of the Instagram questions. So I think we got a pretty stacked show. Another guy that's going to call in that you guys might know is Ryan Edwards from KMC Wheels. So he's going to call in around 5:30. So before we get to all the questions and things like that, I got to say thank you to the whole audience for joining us. You guys are our lifeblood, so please keep hanging out with us, talking to us on social media. You can always check out the show every Monday night on Facebook, YouTube, and now Instagram Live as well. Thursday nights, we do a little industry insider behind the scenes. You can check us out if you can't watch it. You want to stay safe while you're driving to the races. You can check it out on iTunes and just listen to it there. So that way you're not going to crash the trailer in the truck. So please keep getting interactive with us, like I said. And the show is brought to you guys by all of our fantastic sponsors. KMC Wheels, like we just mentioned, with Ryan Edwards. Thank you to Ryan and Ryan Guidus over there with EFX Tires for supporting the show since day one. Justin Smith over at Shock Therapy. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at shocktherapyusa.com and save yourself a whole bunch of money. Those guys have been just killing it, going to the dunes, helping all you guys out. Thank you to one of our newest partners, Motul, for joining us. They have some fantastic oil and lubricant products that you can check out. Really good stuff for your side-by-side. Evolution Power Sports. Those guys do some pretty amazing stuff. They do some tuning software. Your daughter Lindsay works closely with them.
Yeah.
Todd and all those guys. So thank you very much to Todd and Jacob and everybody over there for supporting the show. Really appreciate it. Zollinger Racing Products. You can use the code TheDirtLife at ZollingerRacingProducts.com. save a whole bunch of money on any of the products over there. Like we talked about the evolution of off-road, man, they're really helping the evolution of the side-by-side racing and taking a lot of, advice and direction from trophy trucks as well. So the devil's in the details. Thank you to the guys over at Cryo Heat. You can get your Pro Mod transmissions, a lot less rolling resistance. They do all kinds of metal treatments. I don't know if you guys have ever seen stuff like the metal treatments.
We do it to some.
Yeah, there you go. The CV joints and stuff like that, maybe. Yep. And thank you guys over at Solderweld. You can get an off-road repair kit to repair your race or your ride at solderweld.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to save a whole bunch of money. All right. I get so long-winded with that. So let's start with the first question. You guys build off-road trucks. How have you guys liked doing that for the past 2 decades?
We have before.
Just a couple.
It's been good, just especially with the competition and the other builders that are keeping the game going. So you got to always keep on your toes, try and move to the next step, try and think of new stuff. And for a long time,
we had it pretty easy.
Yeah, we were kind of one of the only ones in the game that were doing good, and we just kind of stayed with our same game and kept going. But nowadays, everybody's going faster. Things are getting bigger, more power.
But that's exciting, though, for everybody, right? Especially the end consumer, and obviously you guys behind
good.
Yeah,
it's good. Makes us, like Jeff said, makes us think about stuff, makes us work a little bit harder and try to do a better job. But
Yeah, well, building race trucks, you guys obviously have a competitive spirit in yourselves, so it's pretty clear that that's something that you guys are passionate about, is always staying on the forefront of the business as well.
Yeah, need to, or else we'd be spectators.
And to give people a little bit of a backstory, you guys have some time behind this, behind the steering wheel as well, don't you?
Yep. Yeah, 85 was my first race at the Mint 400.
Wow.
So... And I've been going to, somebody asked how long I've been going down to Baja. It's been 37 years or something we've been going down there. So
man, that's crazy.
So they're like, how did you know to take this road? I go, well, we've used to race down this road.
Yeah, I've only been here a million times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So we went down and pre-run. I went with Scanlon Motorsports Group, Craig Scanlon, and he had, I don't know what you want to call him, but a liaison, and his name is Sharky. Sharky showed us all of these different things. I mean, he even showed us these things called pitayas. They're little like tomatoes with spikes on them that come from cactus. It's super awesome fruit. But the value that what you're talking about knowing the terrain, knowing the different trails. I mean, you don't think about it like if you're a newbie like me and you go down there until you need to know where you're at, sure. Right? Sure. Like a side road to get a chase truck in there, or to get the vehicle out if you have some sort of issue, or a better place to pit. Like, so those things that you're talking about are so valuable, man. It's crazy.
There's so many different roads down there and ways to get into different places that you would never think.
It's nuts, right? Yeah. So
Sharky, speaking of Sharky, he used to help us with RPM.
Yeah. He was telling me about that, and so we
guy. Yeah. A lot of good Mexican people down there.
Yeah.
That are real people that are want to help and want to go racing and want to. So
it's pretty cool to see, and the camaraderie just comes around racing and winning, right? Yeah. But it was really cool to see, and we actually stayed at the same hotel. I just had a brain fart and couldn't remember it, but we stayed at the same resort down in Loretto, yep. As the RPM guys. So it was pretty cool to see all that. You clearly didn't make it down there because you got
short trip.
Your trip got cut short. Let's just kind of finish up the Baja talk and tell us about your guys' experience at this year's race, because it was only a week ago.
Well, Jeff had a short one.
I was chasing the twin engine truck,
which is the truck right behind us here, right?
Yeah. The front motor low on oil and threw the rods out the side at mile 322.
Oh man! So that was
he was able to run the rear motor, get out to the highway down the access road, and
limper home.
Loaded it up and headed home.
That's tough, man. And it's not your guys' first rodeo, but that's always tough for the guys, right?
Tough. Yeah, and it's a bummer. They were doing good and racing the Legends class, Clyde Stacy and all the guys that were racing with them and stuff. But it was.
I feel like that class is so cool. Like, that's one of my favorite to watch.
We're in that. That's the bad part. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we belong in that group, or we're eligible for it. Do we belong there? Man, maybe not.
Does that mean that you guys are going to try to race one of these bad boys or what?
I've been racing this one at the twin truck at usually just the 500 and the 1,000 for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah. So for our audience that's on Instagram, you can't see the different camera angles, but we got a special camera angle that it's not the driver's seat because we didn't have a long enough cord, but we got a in-car a camera set up in this actual twin-engine truck there. So this is what the navigator sees or the co-driver sees. Maybe explain a little bit about the inside of this bad boy.
Yeah. So both the Motec dashes in the center. The left one is the front motor, and the right one is the rear motor, and can't see it there. There's a little knob kind of in the passenger dash that you can adjust the throttle position in the
so it's like a throttle bias kind of?
Yeah.
Wow,
so you
really?
can adjust how hard you want the front to pull, and so we run the front front tires a little light on the motor.
Yeah.
And just push it with the rears, but you can only drag it along so far. So keep them wicked up pretty good. But
it's pretty cool to see that technology, that's got to help a bunch in some of the new projects that you guys have been working on too. With, like I said, maybe the electric trophy truck, if we can talk about it a little bit. But it's neat to just see how many, put it this way. When you guys first opened the shop, did you think you'd build a truck like that?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to build it.
Hey, if we had another day, we talked that over. But he wanted to kill me.
Oh, really?
Literally. I'm not building it. I'm not working. I'm quitting.
It was out of your mind.
You guys have got to be crazy. Well, it started just real quick.
Whose idea was it? Was it yours?
Clyde's.
No, it was Clyde's.
Oh, it was Clyde. He said he put two motors in there?
Yeah, he's like, give him his money back. We ain't building that. So,
really?
But he didn't know. I did a bunch of stuff I started it without him even knowing. But then whenever I had 2 engines and 2 transmissions bolted sort of backwards to each other.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's
I don't think you want to know.
So that means that you guys have to come up with some sort of transfer case that's completely brand new. Like how does it?
No, this is. I say simplicity wise, the back motor runs the front, and the front motor runs the back.
Oh, okay.
They're all separate.
2 separate programs.
Well, that's kind of cool. Well, how do you connect them with the bias then?
Well, it's just electronic throttle
position.
Oh, okay. So computer.
Just more throttle to the front, more to the rear, but it just has 2 turbo 400 transmissions and has 2 LS3s now. When we first did it, it had 2 diesel. Fiats or
they were a Dodge, the Eco diesels.
Oh, because they were a little smaller.
Really little.
Yeah.
V6.
Wouldn't go nowhere. Well, it was 1 turbo. Then we twin turboed, and that wasn't good enough, so we supercharged them. And then Jeff, testing it, he pretty much just blew up every one of them motors. We never even raced it.
Blew the turbos off.
We never raced it.
We blew everything apart on it.
It was a great show for a year.
7 months or 8 months, we tried.
Finally,
everything.
We're like, hey, we're going to go somewhere. We got to put LSs back in it. We did.
That's crazy.
Over 1,000 miles right out of the box.
Right when you switched to the
Baja 1000
point to point
was our test.
No way. And all of a sudden, it just
all
worked?
the way to 1050.
And the only
I think
problem we had was
50 miles to the end.
fuel injectors on the rear motor.
Well, that's a nice.
Both motors.
Both motors.
Both motors. And then what happened was the gearbox pretty much broke sheared off the bolts.
Oh.
And Clyde was driving it, and he thought the transmission burned up.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So he pretty much didn't know.
Because it's just revving, right?
It's just ripping, revving. So he pretty much we didn't know, so we gave up. We thought we didn't have a spare tranny, so we're done.
That's insane. It's kind of cool though to figure. I mean, you guys bashing your heads against the wall for 7-8 months, and then all of a sudden you switch.
It was good. It was. We were excited. Jeff drove first. I think Todd Wiley drove.
Yep.
Mark Newhan drove some. Then Clyde got No, that was the last time I raced. Clyde wouldn't get in because he wanted a truck that was 100%. So he's like, go ahead, you take it to the next pit.
He was supposed to get in after we fixed the fuel injectors, and he said, "No, you."
So I got Jeff's fire suit, and I got in it, and I went to the next pit. And then Clyde got in and went like 100 miles, maybe a little bit more, and then it quit. So,
oh man!
But we were like at 10:50.
Yeah, so real close.
We were I think 50 miles or something from the finish.
That's pretty good, man. You guys, so that's got to be like a victory in itself, an internal victory at least. Yeah.
But we come back, won 2 championships with it. So that's even better.
Yeah. Well, but the foresight, I'm saying, like after going through all that crap for 8 months, we had a question come in from John Huppers that said, and he's talking about this year. What part of the course did you think was the roughest this year at the Baja 1000?
I don't know. I didn't pre-run. We just pretty much were support for Red Line.
Yep.
And RPM.
I just heard a lot of stories about the Fred's Tractor Trail.
I did too. Yeah, where Elliott Watson had that incident.
Yeah. You make it through that, and you were pretty much good to go.
Yeah, that's what everybody said.
And we've raced it a lot. There's sections down south that are pretty big whoops for a while.
Like that last 100 miles or whatever
really,
it was.
it's like, it's all gravy. It's all really fun, good, lot of roads, lot of, but the beach, is always fun. But really, it was, I think it was a good track.
Yeah. It was what it sounded like to me, at least from the people that I talked to. They actually liked the course. I mean, when it's technical like that, you get some guys that are a little on the fence about it. But, I mean, overall, if you make it, like, you got to be stoked.
I think it was good.
Yeah. So what were some of the highlights that you guys had?
Well, for the ride home, I think was our highlight. We lost a turbo in the chase truck.
Oh, shoot.
And so we don't give up. I told all the guys to go home. And we stayed in Loretto for a couple days on vacation. Really, we didn't, but...
Here's a highlight. Does Dave Mitchell still bring those cookies to the races?
He does, yeah.
Yes, he does.
And trust me, we all got sick on them because we eat too many of them.
Are they homemade cookies?
Yeah, and they're about...
chocolate chip cookies.
They're about 6-8 inches around and about an inch thick. Yeah, it's crazy.
They're phenomenal. So you guys are all on a big old sugar high the whole time.
Yeah. So we did... Everything was good. Really, the race was good, smooth. We had cars up front running all day, and it was just one of them races that everything was clicking along. We lost a turbo in a chase truck. We flew a girl that was a friend of a guy that went with us, his niece. She got the turbo from Jeff that I had at the shop, flew to Cabo. She turned it off to one of the guys that goes with us to the races. He brought it to La Paz, and then a race team brought it from La Paz to Loretto. And, we put it on, and we drove all the way home.
That's your own Amazon right there.
It's all good. Yeah, we got our own jet. We had our own delivery, one-day service,
That's pretty cool. We had a comment come in about battery and electric power and how it's improving. So let's see here. So Fabian 007, just wait a little bit when we start talking about the electric stuff, and they'll probably answer your question. One of the questions that I had before we get into some of the more technical stuff, though, is I was looking through, trying to do my research on you guys, which is pretty much impossible when you're looking on the internet for stuff for you guys. I was talking to your daughter, Lindsay, and we just took a picture of both of you and Rick over here, Jeff, and there's nothing of you guys on the internet currently.
On the cover.
Yeah, I mean, and I was telling her, I go, when was the last time your dad posted on Instagram? Like 16 years ago or something? Yeah. And Lindsay I think the last picture was Lindsay in a little buggy. I don't know what class it was in. And it says Smiley Motorsports on the side.
Yeah, at the Rage at the River.
At Rage at the River. So my question was for you guys, what is Smiley Motorsports?
They are actually a crane manufacturer and crane service. It's here in Phoenix, and we built 2 6100s for them and 2 trophy trucks in session. But actually, the trophy truck that Jax raced was actually Smiley's.
Oh, okay.
That the one Rob Mack raced at Vegas to Reno 2 years ago.
Yep.
The one Abdali one at Laughlin in. Anyway, it's a truck.
I drove for Smiley for 4 years. Something. Lindsay drove with Smiley's wife, Carrie.
Yep.
So she raced the 6100, and me and Tony raced the trophy truck, and Lindsay did it for a year, and I did it for 4 years, I think.
5 years or something.
It's pretty cool. Do you guys like that passing the torch kind of thing. Like seeing the smile on her face in those pictures that you posted a million years ago.
Sure.
So what I'm getting at here is maybe if you guys got to do a little bit more media stuff, post on your Instagram a little bit more often.
I have to do that.
But yeah, so the smile on her face though was like that's got to be something that's going to live with you guys forever.
Well, the whole time from doing the Lucas Oil stuff and the kids racing trophy carts, and then Lindsay getting in the limited buggy and racing it, and she won the Challenge Cup race they had. She was the only girl out of
nice
16 or 18 cars, and she won that thing, and then we kind of too busy to keep doing that, and we just started desert racing, and then she raced with Carrie, and I made Corey ride with her, and he's not very happy about it.
Really? He didn't like being a co-dog?
Yeah, he's ready to drive. He does a good job driving, and he's keeps trying to beat me up.
Yeah, it's kind of cool though. Like I really like that the aspect of it. We always talk about on the Dirt Life Show. We talk about camaraderie, and the off-road industry is one of a kind. I mean, like there's very few. Even in motocross, it was a lot less. But there's very few motorsports that have that same camaraderie. We were talking a little bit about before the show. Like the different pit stops and things like that. Like if you're still around and you can help somebody else, even if they're close to you or going to beat you, you still help, right?
Sure.
And that doesn't happen in very many other motorsports. So when I see the smile like on Lindsay's face, or I haven't known you guys for that long, but when I see these things, it's really cool for me to see that because I respect everybody in the community so much.
Yeah, it is like a big off-road family that everybody's in it for a good time.
Yeah, 100%. But also to win, right? Like
definitely to win.
That's the main thing that drives you guys forward.
Yeah.
Tony Braza said those Geiser bros are some of the best in the business. Always great seeing you guys at the races. Bumped into Jeff at the 400 and Rick at Valley T at the 1000. That's pretty cool.
We saw Tony. We saw you a couple times. That was good.
Did you guys get tacos down there at Valley T then?
We didn't. We didn't have time. Everybody was just coming in, but we had. It was all good,
Yeah, totally. And some of that camaraderie goes back to exactly what he said, man. Just seeing those guys and everybody's so pumped on it. Before we start talking about a lot of the desert racing stuff, one of my good friends, I've known since I was a kid, played in the sandbox with him, is Joe Whining. Okay. And so when I knew that Joe was, working with you guys was when I kind of started knowing about short course because I grew up dirt bike racing, but I started knowing about short course probably in 2012 to 14-ish, the Casey Curry Pro Light V8 era, like right when that was starting. And I think Joe was working for you guys and the Canada team, right?
Yep.
And so what was the whole program there? Because I love the short course stuff. Was that something that you guys were dedicated to, or were you still kind of doing the off-road stuff?
We were doing the off-road stuff. It was just kind of I had started. When did we do the first Pro Light?
I don't know. I know that it was about 15 years of short course.
We built the Pro Light a long time ago, and I sold it and bought it back. I don't know, 10 years.
Was that one of the Esslinger Pro Lights? Or
yeah.
So
when Chula Vista was the first Chula Vista, when it was racing, when they had the trophy truck races in the houses, and
every time Rob Mack tells me a story about this Chula Vista place, I wish I knew about it because
it was really like
it was incredible.
It was like a Crandon, not really, but imagine that was the out.
It was the place.
That was the layout, man.
The second one at the quarry, big, huge, flying downhill, and
that's the one he talks about all the time. Yeah. So, how do you think a UTV would do on that track these days?
It'd be good.
It'd all be good. It's probably houses now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it was a great. I mean, all the tracks were good. The Reno track is sort of one of them big ones, but the quarry was.
That's one of the pictures I posted on Instagram.
Yeah. Was at the quarry?
Yeah.
Really? I got to look through it a little bit better. Man, I suck doing it research then because I looked at some of those. I couldn't tell where it was though.
It's old school.
Man, that is super cool. Do you like driving that little 4-cylinder?
Yeah, it was class.
Those things
love short courses. It's intense.
When they started turning over to V8s, I was like, they don't sound as cool. I mean, I get the point, but I was like, man, I just love those 4-cylinders.
So when I first started in my old Pro Light and S-Slinger, and we were just starting, and I put automatic in it, and all the
We went to Crandon.
Everybody had manual trannies, and so I pull up on the starting line next to Rick Huseman, and he's got this,
and Johnny Greaves on the other side.
He's got this fire breathing S slinger. I don't even know what it was.
Those Greaves 4-cylinders were insane,
and this thing was
really.
And I'm like, off he goes.
Oh,
but
man.
I beat him. He blew up his motor.
Oh, there you go, right there. It runs fantastic till it doesn't, right?
Yep.
That's pretty cool. So to keep talking about the short course stuff before we move on to the off-road stuff, if you guys did it for 15 years, a lot of guys have passed through that program, right? Can you name a few of them? Because I obviously know Joe.
That worked on it with us?
I would say maybe worked on it. Some of the notables that drove the vehicles as well.
They're in the...
Well, clearly Rob Mack.
Yeah, Rob, Ricky Johnson, Rick Huseman.
Jeff Ward.
Oh, Wardy, yeah. I forgot about Wardy.
It was all good names. It was all,
that was right when I started.
Pat Clark, Carl Renazetter.
The Baldwins.
The other kid, Robbie, somebody from Nevada. I don't remember his name.
That guy that's good at welding?
I don't even know about that, but, he takes good pictures on Instagram, though.
He definitely does.
No, Robbie's a good kid, and, we just smoke his ass, so that's all that really matters.
It is cool that you guys can talk about that stuff, though, because so many people came through that program, and I remember being some of my first time seeing guys. Like, I think the first time I ever went to a short course race, Jeff Ward was actually racing, and I couldn't believe. Like, to me, there was nothing else like it. I was a dirt bike rider, and then I see these things on four wheels, and I go, who the hell invented these things? And now you're sitting right next to me. It was so cool to go through that process in my head before the show. What even possesses you guys to come up with the idea to make a vehicle that does this kind of stuff?
Well, it definitely evolved, and really after they made a spec chassis for the Pro 2s is kind of when we got into it, and it was all your suspension pivots and everything were all set, your frame rails. But then you just was kind of open after that. But
so you start moving things around.
Yeah, but it's like all racing. It was just a long learning process, and we went through first. We didn't really have the time.
Yeah,
to really test. Like you get, Rob Mack. He's got Jeff has 1,000 laps, let's say, and Rob's got 10,000.
Oh yeah, well, probably even more than that, but yeah,
equipment and on. Where we would build something and we would stink and rip it up and down the street.
Yeah, call it a day.
Jeff would go, man, it feels good, man. Let's go. And we go out there and beat the crap out of ourselves and work on it all day and all night and all day and all night. We go out there and
change it.
We're running maybe mid pack, let's say. And then we get some other deals going, and we're trying because, a free motor is the best way to go, or free shocks or free train. It's all the best way to go because that's all we could do. So, Jeff's brother, Rick, was just a cheapskate and wouldn't spend the money.
Exactly.
But, hey.
I was a professional driver. I need support.
But I can tell you this.
Like every professional driver out there.
Hey, right. When we bought all the right stuff, we went out and podium first time out.
There you go.
It was good. We did.
So you were right?
Yeah. We did. When Mickey Thompson tires got into it, we.
Joe actually said the Canada days were the best.
Yeah.
Tell Joe to get back to work.
Joe was a big part of our moving forward and trying new things, and he's a hard worker, still a hard worker.
Yeah.
But we were trying to get test time, really, to make things work. And Mickey Thompson wanted to get into it, and so we were asked by them to help him develop a tire for the short course, and so we ended up getting a lot of laps out at Speed World. And really,
that track was another track that I wish I could have raced at. That track looks really cool.
They were all. I don't know that we complained about any track. Probably.
I'll tell you what, though.
I crashed big at that one.
Vegas was good.
Speed World looked like your neck would just not be feeling those moguls, man. Back and forth going through those things.
Just hang on and pin it.
Yeah. That's the way we did it in Supercross and the whoops too, man. It was crazy for me to see though, and I got to see a little bit of it before it diminished or fell off. The good old Speed World track, yep. So I can't see that far with who commented in, but Ryan Edwards from KMC is going to join us in just a second here. I heard of Jeff secretly wanted to drive a Superlight.
Oh shit!
No.
That's a big no.
We got JW working here now. Jeff Wyckoff, that he was one of the mechanics on that thing, and we still hear stories about him. But,
I think he wants to buy some of them. So if you know of any, contact him.
Really?
No.
I was gonna say, Ryan Edwards, KMC Wheels. What's up, buddy? How are you?
What's happening?
We're going to put you on the big screen over here so Lindsay, our viewing audience, can check out your pretty face.
That's never fun.
Hey, so thank you for joining us. First of all, thank you always for having our back over here at the Dirt Life Show. You've dealt with the Geisers just a couple times, right? Rick, Jeff, and obviously your best friend Corey.
Oh, yeah. I think Rick and Jeff are the best part of all of it. Corey can just stay home.
Leave Corey out of it.
Boy, you ain't lying there.
Hey, so fun fact, I came to the shop and I gave all these guys a bunch of the new Dirt Life gear, which I have to give to you and Emily as well. And I gave it over to, who did I pass it to? I gave it to Jeff, and I go, here, you got to share it with Corey. He goes, nope, Corey, you didn't get none.
Nope.
Yeah, there ain't any left. There ain't any left.
The short end.
Yeah.
Hey, so, being off-road guys, dirt bike guys coming into the off-road scene, what was the first time that you remember hearing or seeing about the Geiser brothers?
Shit. Fuck. Day one, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at, too, is like right when you get to the track, it's like, who are those guys? Who builds a truck? And it was them.
Yeah, I think anywhere I've been, I've had some involvement with what you guys are doing over there. So it's cool to keep moving on, especially with Lindsay and Corey, and keep things moving forward. I think it's pretty rad.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's neat to see that, and that kind of goes back to the whole industry thing, right? Like the camaraderie and stuff. We talk about camaraderie at the races, but what a lot of people don't see that are in our audience is the camaraderie that happens behind the scenes too. The business handshakes that happen, the transactions that go to complete a trophy truck. The let's just say you put Ryan, you're like, hey, dude, we got this trophy truck. We got a deadline. You got to service us before you, and he'll make it happen and get you guys the stuff that you need. You know, like those things are really important, especially in the business.
Yep. Well, as you guys can't see, but I think almost every car, truck in here and chase trucks have KMC wheels on it.
Yeah.
So it's not like we like you or anything.
No.
It's one of them programs, that, man, when you build, it's like having a Geiser truck, whenever you build something good and it's all good for everybody.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what I'm talking about is you align yourself with the people that are going to fulfill and properly, handle their duties. So it's cool to see. So some of the cool stuff that I've been checking out at the shop, Ryan, that I think you would like is there's a pre-runner over here. I don't know if I'm allowed to say who it's for, but it's pretty Gucci, man. So if you guys can't see it, you guys can probably see the front of it. Even the bead locks have the logo in it, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty next level stuff right there.
Except I got to tell you, they're not KMC wheels on it.
I knew
but
that.
Other than that,
it's still pretty Gucci.
Somebody made them special.
They're round and they're aluminum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
But some of the stuff that they do here at the shop, man, is pretty unreal to say the least. So
that's one place I haven't been actually.
You would.
You need to come out and check it out.
Yeah.
As long as Corey's not there, I'm there.
Yeah. Well, between 8:30 to 4, just don't show up. No, Corey's good.
You sure he gets there that early?
Yeah, no, he really gets. He does good. He's here 6:30 or 7, and he'll go the distance.
Yeah, he actually helped me out quite a bit today. I know you guys give him shit, but he was.
He'll complain all till the end.
Yeah, he will complain, but he will get you the info you need.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Hey, so have you ever seen either of these guys behind the steering wheel?
I've seen Jeff when he raced the Smiley truck.
At what race? Do you remember?
I think it was Laughlin.
Maybe.
He did everything for 3 or 4 years.
Every single race? Like, how was that?
Yeah.
Coming to work all sore or what?
That's the desert race. Nah, it makes you feel better.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of energy.
Makes you want to go to work.
And My back actually feels better after I race.
Have you loosened it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Maybe I should take
Stretch
your
it out.
advice and go start doing that again.
Should. It's good therapy.
Just like
chiropractor.
just like a chiropractor, it's just you got it costs $500,000, or more.
Hey, so Ryan, since we're big off-road guys, but big UTV guys, do you think that these guys would like to race a UTV, or you think they'll stick with some of their own equipment over here?
Hey, we race Class 9. Jeff raced Class 9.
When?
Yeah, I think a UTV is almost faster than a 9 these days.
Yeah.
80, 90.
When she was born.
Early 90s.
95, 96. Her first race was she was.
And you're talking about Lindsay, because we don't have a camera angle back there. We should have Lindsay walk back here so everybody knows.
2 or 3 weeks old in my first Class 9 race, and it was here in a local race outside of town.
Whoa, really?
Canyon Raceway, yep.
Oh, I remember that place.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a cool dirt bike track. You would actually really like that. They had this thing called Suicide Hill, Ryan, that you would just jump down the hill. You could just send it all the way to the bottom and just float down. It was rad.
So we raced motorcycles also.
Yeah?
Tried to.
Yeah, we didn't do very good, and we didn't do it very long, but because I think we were smart. They say, with age comes a cage. We got that early.
Yeah. Well, I can definitely.
We did that on 80s.
The Suicide Hill thing?
I used to smoke it.
Oh,
that was so long ago, I don't even remember.
Hey,
but
Ryan,
yes.
it's like you always say, winners win, right?
They do. I mean, we keep winning as long as we're out there.
Every day.
So I can definitely agree with what you're saying, though, Rick, because if I hadn't raced dirt bikes, I wouldn't be limping around like a penguin. So
it happens. It happens.
It definitely does.
It could be worse, right?
Yeah, 100%. So, Ryan, another thing that I was going to ask you, we're going to talk to Justin at Shock Therapy a little bit about this later, is the progression of off-road. So, like I just said, and asked you before, is when was the first time that you saw these guys? And you said day one, right? And so now it's 2 decades later for them, probably a decade later for us. What do you think about the improvement or the progression in the off-road world? I mean, it's like, I saw a video the other day of 2 trophy trucks. I think it was a 2008 and a 2021 trophy truck next to each other.
Oh, yeah, it was that Andy video.
Yeah, so you saw that too. To me, that was mind-blowing. I don't know if you guys got to see that.
Sure.
Like, so what do you think about the progression?
I think it's wild that like the Geisers, for instance, can build something and still be 15 years old or 20 years old and out there getting on the podium. Like,
yeah.
Cameron just got third at Baja.
Would never be like that.
Yeah, Cameron killed it at the 1,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Place.
So I think that's what's rad about what you guys are doing. You're building something that lasts, and that's, the technology's there and you guys are using it, and it's letting it go for 20 plus years at this point.
I think that video, the difference there was really parts. Like say the old Robbie truck, very hard to get to the finish line. A new truck that's really just has better parts. It's about the same width, the same length, the same height. Might weigh a little bit more, on and on, but everything is bigger.
Got it.
Just like literally from the brakes to the wheels to the, maybe not bigger, but we use all
reliability.
We use all forged wheels now instead of a cast wheel.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just we're going faster, we're going harder, we're going longer.
Or shock technology. Shock technologies.
Yeah, shocks, wheels, brakes. Of course, all-wheel drive. Of course, I remember that one of the motor guys told me, "Do you think you have enough power?" And we had like 700 maybe.
For all-wheel drive, you mean?
No, for just a motor.
Oh, in general.
Yeah, 5, 6, 8, 10 years ago. Hey, do you think we should build a bigger motor? I go, yeah, I think we should build a bigger motor, but we have enough power, okay? We don't need to, Well, now we're pretty much over 1,000 now.
That's crazy.
And there's guys that get in these trucks and go, man, I wish I had another 100 or 2. So it's.
To me, that's phenomenal, though. But I do think it's cool to understand that, though. Like, UTVs are kind of on the same progression, and this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about in parallel with Justin from Shock Therapy is some of the shock technology, some of the reliability of things. Like, for me to see an all-wheel drive truck, even a two-wheel drive truck, go as fast as it does through 1,000 miles of the roughest terrain on the planet and cross the finish line with little to no issues.
Yeah.
is like that blows my mind every time I think about it. And other people might think it's easy, but I can't fathom it.
It's not. Yeah. Building them every day. When I go testing them, I test every truck first, and it comes down to that where we go test. It's like how much faster can we go?
Right.
How much harder can we hit that ditch? How much harder? I mean, we got to stop. We're going faster. We need better brakes. We need better steering. We need better motors, better trannies, bigger fuel tanks to go further.
I don't know what the average was, but say Rob and Luke did it in 20 hours and something, 1,227 miles. So
that's insane. Like that average speed is blows my mind. So Max Eddy commented in, Brian, you'll like this comment, or it wasn't really even a question. We posted on Instagram some questions for these guys. Max Eddy commented in, I want to race their truck. That's it.
Hey, tell Max. Tell Max that we need to settle up. We need to settle up from the Bay of LA transaction. Just tell him that. Is he on here?
He'll listen to it, I'm sure, at some point.
Okay, Max, you just remember when you settle up with that, then we're good to go.
So
he's the only one that knows what it is. It was, I think, 11 o'clock at night, probably.
Oh, really?
Just me and him talking and made a little deal, and so.
Like Ryan said, he's got to settle his debt.
Yeah.
Settle his debt.
That's pretty funny.
Max is good people.
Yeah, exactly. What's one of the questions that you have for him, Ryan, before we let you go, buddy?
What's next?
Electric.
You guys got to have some big stuff coming.
Electric.
I like
electric. Oh, I saw that at SEMA.
A new all-wheel drive.
New all-wheel drive electric. We got.
When's that gonna be out?
Well, the car's easy to build. It's the controls that they've been really working on for.
The computer stuff.
Really, they've been working on it for 2 years now.
Okay.
Off and on, and we're really close to the next truck on the fixture will be that truck.
Crazy.
We got 3 other trucks in the works, and we got a new all-wheel drive that we're getting started on. So besides the electric.
Yeah, a new all-wheel drive. So there was a couple questions that came in, and since we're talking about the electric truck, since Ryan started mentioning what was next is how about the battery life, and what are the things that have come through the process of you guys going through the last 2 years? And you don't have to give away any secrets, but tell us what the path is to the success of that vehicle.
Well, number one is batteries.
Yep.
And battery technology, of what I know, we're not the electricians and we're not part of that part of it. But
right. Race truck
batteries have went from, imagine a C battery to a 9-volt to now to a battery that goes in a impact.
Yeah, like a lithium-ion battery.
That technology is now, there's hypercars with stuff that we're going to be using.
Yep.
There's the battery packs. It's not like a thing that you go buy. It's a build it. Every little section of that.
Yeah.
That battery costs $200,000 to $300,000.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
One battery, and we'll have 3. Plus, we got to have spares to change them out.
Fun fact that people might not know.
They may be able to change them out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like hot swappable ones that people may not know. It has nothing to do with off-road industry, but Toyota Prius battery is just a bunch of AA's linked up together.
That's what they all.
It literally is, and it's just a hundreds, thousands
bunch of them.
Yeah, just linked up together.
But there's also there's cooling. There's thermal stuff that goes with it. There's it's 800 volts you're playing with.
Woo-wee.
So temperature is huge.
I can only imagine.
In and out. There's but
and so that
it's been bad for the electric off-road market because of what's happened with the couple 2-3 people that have tried it. They all failed. So trying to get somebody to spend a bunch of money to do this is hard.
Right.
So anyway, it's hyper.
I just was at NASA like a week ago.
Yeah.
This is crazy, but kind of along the same lines. They are almost done with a self-driving UTV off-road.
Oh.
And they had the whole back seat. It was a 4-seater. The whole back seat was a a battery that powered like just the modem for this self-driving equipment. It was crazy.
Hey, maybe you guys should talk to get Ryan to link you up on the business transaction with NASA
Get
over
me
there.
NASA
dude.
involved. Let's go to the moon with this trophy truck.
We're going to the moon with this one.
Hey, could you imagine having NASA on the side of that bad boy crossing the finish line of the Baja 1000?
These dudes had no idea. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to go.
We
didn't even go over rocks and bumps and stuff. And I'm like, oh, you guys are way off.
Yeah, you don't even know. Yeah.
No.
But yeah, so the technology of the batteries is like went crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, stuff like that to make it go is, the crazy part. The controls are the part that's that will take the longest. So
it's cool. It's cool to see, man. Like, I love to hear. We could talk about this one subject for days and days and days.
Electric's crazy, man.
It really is. All right, Ryan. Well, we really appreciate it, man. Please tell Gunner and the wifey that we said hello. And thanks for joining.
I gotta go back upstairs. They're yelling at me right now. So
all right.
Thanks for everything, you guys. Thanks for everything you guys have done for the off-road market.
No, thank you guys. You guys keep killing it.
Thanks for picking on my kid.
Hey,
keeping him in line.
That's what I'm here for. Later, guys.
Thanks, Dave. We'll see you later. We had a couple comments come in. John Lewis said, the truck that Travis Williams is racing is an older chassis, and it still kicks ass. When did you guys build that? Put the mic a little closer, Rick.
That was
Banning.
That we built for Lee Banning. So it's probably, 6-8 years old, probably.
Oh, okay. So it's got a few miles on it then?
Yeah.
Actually,
he's been doing good.
That's
good driver.
That's a good overall audience question. What is the truck that you think has the most miles on it that you guys have done? I mean, that's got to be a...
We're on truck 77 now, I think.
75, 6, 7.
Yeah, so 77. Dang, that's a pretty good number, too.
They're all still alive.
Really?
Yeah, everyone still race.
So I saw some videos. Vildosa was pre-running in his Geiser truck. That was the second truck we built. The first truck Cameron still has.
Nice. Oh, is that the one that he pre-runs in or no?
Yeah.
Nice. That truck actually looks like it handles fantastic.
There's still every one of them. McMillan still have one. Andy does. He uses it as a pre-runner some. But yeah, they're all still alive.
G Lopez Z Rubio, I don't know who that is on Instagram, but says, is the door with my name on it still on the wall?
Yeah.
Is that one of the doors over here? I don't know if we have a camera angle that can actually see it, but it actually
it's clear down in the corner.
Let's see if we can see it over there. So it's way over there, buddy. So maybe they do have it. We'll go through a couple of the other questions. GX RDO is cool. Asked, what motor do they have in the TT? And I think that's probably more of a general question. Like, what's the standards that you guys use?
Mostly all custom made, like Ford or Chevy.
Okay.
But not really Ford or Chevy.
Right.
Like a Brodix or a Dart or a, whatever. And then they're built as four. We've had motors from, say, 450s to now they're 580s, big blocks.
Jeez, man.
So just a conventional.
Most all the new trucks have big blocks in them.
Yeah, conventional small block or big block, but everything aftermarket.
So you guys haven't done very much short course stuff in the last years, huh?
No.
So when Lucas stopped, you guys stopped?
Yep.
We stopped like the
year before.
before.
I was going to say, because I didn't see your guys' faces for a while out there. So what motors were in those trucks? Same kind
small
of...
block.
Small block.
That was a weight thing. So
power to weight.
Yep. Get as much torque out of those things as possible. Okay, so we got a couple more questions coming in. Let's see. Elias Hanonovelis at KMC Rocks. What is the steel cab Dodge? That's a Class 8 truck, isn't it?
That's old Walker Evans Class 8. Jeff used to work for him.
I worked there when they started racing that truck till we opened our shop.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a couple more questions here. Let's. I don't know. I don't even know how to make this question normal. Carlos Gomez 883 says, "When are Geysers? Will they put a winning driver in their trucks like Brenthal did?" I don't know what that actually means because I don't know much about Brenthal.
Probably Kyle Jurgensen.
Okay,
He's been killing it.
Yeah.
And
he did do good this year, right?
Yeah,
Didn't he win a
sure.
championship?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done good.
We have just a lot of. We don't have a sponsored driver per se, but
well, so
got a lot of good drivers.
My answer to that question is a little different than yours. You have a ton of winning drivers in your trucks. They all operate their own different programs. So when I hear a question like that, I think there's many different ways to answer it, obviously. But the main way to answer it is that most of the people that operate an off-road racing team do it on their own.
Yeah.
They do it on their own budgets. They do it at their own team and their own program and things like that. You guys provide the tool set to be able to go out there and to win the races sometimes, for RPM and other people. But it's not the same. Maybe this guy's thinking more of like F1 or NASCAR or Supercross or something where you just show up and drive, right? So I think that's probably a little bit more thorough of an answer to it. Brent,
how about the guy that won the Baja 1000?
Yeah.
He wasn't in our car,
right?
But he has one of our cars.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be at the Mint 400 next week.
Yep.
Rob Mack.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the best you can get.
Yeah, I don't think there's. We were actually talking about. We talked with Rob actually for a Baja 1000 recap on Tuesday, and there got to be probably 50 people just kept going, man, the GOAT is so good in interviews, and I was like, the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yep. He's definitely one of them. Yeah. So, and then another question that I think they probably weren't paying too much attention is all-wheel drive trophy trucks and when, but you guys have already started that process.
I believe I can't say we originated or brought the all-wheel drive back, but we built 3 of them before anybody, and we won championships and won races.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're still building them, and we're gonna come back out with a new weapon and put somebody real good in it. So.
And SoCal 6150 said diesel trophy trucks. We kind of already went over that a little bit earlier in the show. Diesel trophy trucks are cool. Yeah, that was one of the things that you guys worked on, but you guys had a lot more reliable engines with the LS motors, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Average cost and upkeep of a 6100 truck.
So new, they're 400 plus.
Mm-hmm. Depending on what you want.
Yeah, depending on all the bells and whistles. And upkeep is really, like you say, a Formula One team to a
budget team.
Well, budget, or maybe this guy's working, has a real job, and so it all depends on. You could win with anything. It's just how you do it.
Yep.
So it's budget wise, you're going to spend $100 a mile.
Yeah.
In a 6100. So if you went to the Mint 400, it's going to cost you, say $50,000 to $100,000, depending on how you do it.
Yeah, and depending on what you spend the money on. Some people go real extravagant with their hotel rooms, put it that way. So
or the paint job, or
whatever it is.
Yeah,
exactly.
Every bits and pieces.
Well, look at the Hoonigan program. They spend a lot of money on the media and on the liveries and things like that because that's what they're care about for their media program and stuff. The Dune and Destroy guys are asking a little bit more about the electric truck and when it's going to start coming to fruition a little bit more. Can you guys give us any understanding of that?
So we got the guy Jake at Hypercraft. We have the motors, the motors are ordered. The battery packs are designed. The car is the next car on the fixture, and literally it's the main thing is all of his, I say supporters of the people that are going to be doing stuff for the truck is coming about pretty quick. We hope to be running in a year or less.
That's pretty cool.
So, like I said, we have RPM started it about 5 years ago. We got a lot of information. We got a lot of stuff going, and it's so we just we have all the info. Now we just got to put it all together. And of course, the budget for that is, I say, 8 to 10 times more than a regular trophy truck.
Yeah, well, especially in the prototype stages, right? Yeah. So I can only imagine.
They come over here and they got, a meeting is not like me and Jeff and one other guy going, yeah, we want KC lights and man, we want a 2-wheel drive and we want Fox shocks. It's like they bring 10 people over here and go, this guy is in charge of the this. Right. This girl's in charge of this, and this is, so it's like, literally it's a it's a bigger package.
The board of directors will
pretty much.
figure,
yeah.
But that's kind of the way that the development is, man. It's cool to see because it makes me understand how much effort people are putting into the progression of off-road racing. Yeah. It's pretty rad. Sometimes you guys sit down and go, "Good God, this is not what we expected."
Well, like I said, from the beginning of building them and how much they've evolved and the other builders that are getting into it and how much everything in the whole thing is evolving, and with the electronic shocks now and
4-wheel drive and the different differentials and a gearbox tranny and it's like it's never ending.
Yeah.
Really.
When we first started the 4-wheel drive was I went touring around to all the different shops, manufacturer stuff, looking at the components, and everything was really based off of their short course.
Yeah.
And, we're doing this, and it's, we're landing 9,000 RPM wide open, and
it's quite a bit different.
That's not even a qualifying run. And
I feel like the mechanisms have to be completely different.
Oh, it is now.
Yeah.
Everything.
It was like Jeff's
way
like
bigger and way more.
Let's use this. This is the biggest, best thing they got. This is the biggest. Okay, let's build it. Well, now it's come down to that. I think every part we put in there is the gears in the transfer case had to be this wide, not this wide.
Yeah,
and the differential had to be this big, and then now it's this big. And then the front differential was, we went through that. Break the front, break the back, break the front, break the back, break the,
Just in the all-wheel drive stuff, I remember Joe telling me, he's like, dude, we've been working on the transfer case on these all-wheel drives for like a year and a half, and it's still not ready
yet.
You
said about the cryo stuff?
Yeah.
We've done every process, and knock on wood, Matney's all-wheel drive, I can't say we've never had a problem with it lately.
But it's been pretty reliable.
We have 2 years. We have, say, 2,000 to 3,000 miles on it, besides this Baja 1000, which was 1,200.
Look who just joined us, Max Eddy himself.
Oh, Max.
Hey, Max.
You missed it, buddy.
I
had a ride for you, bro.
Yep.
But you weren't on the show.
What does he have to do?
No, it's too late now. Oh, we got to settle up from our Bay of LA highway turnoff transaction at 11:30 at night.
So, Max, he's not letting any of the audience know. It's just you and him that have to figure this bad boy out.
Yep.
Let's see here. We got some guys asking if they can come into the shop and be your welder. He TIG welds in like aerospace stuff. I would suggest just coming down here and offering your services and seeing how you do. Just like we tell everybody on the Dirt Life show, if you ever want to be a part of an off-road racing team or get your hands dirty behind the steering wheel at some point, the best thing to do is always go lend a hand first. Offer up your services and let these guys see what you guys can do. This one's from one of the employees. Name 3 things in the modern off-road racing. Consider you guys employees.
3 things in modern off-road racing.
Yep.
A lot of fuel. A lot of good help.
Yep.
Things it takes.
I would like to throw one in there. A badass truck.
And a good truck.
Yep. Here's a really good one that aligns with the stuff I was giving you crap for about on Instagram. Why don't you guys post more builds?
We probably should. How about that?
Yeah. We know a girl that can help out with social media.
She does. Lindsay does.
Yeah.
She does help us.
I think no matter...
Put more hours in, evidently.
Well, the thing is, though, no matter what on social media, you're never going to get it right.
No.
Like, it doesn't matter what you do. So it is cool that people do want to see this stuff, though, more, because it shows you how well you're doing in your business when people are asking to consume more, right?
Sure. I can hire her to do my social media, too.
There you go. That'll be pretty good.
Update my
Who knows what's going to be on there?
pictures of her. Pictures of Luna.
Yep, exactly. Nobody can get enough Luna, though. Gen 6 4-wheel drive, when?
When what? Which part?
That's it. That's the question.
When's all-wheel drive?
Gen 6 4-wheel drive. Yeah, all-wheel drive.
Gen 6 4-wheel drive. That's what the new truck will be, is a G6 all-wheel drive.
Got it.
Yep. It'll be that platform when it comes out.
Oh, here's a good question. I actually like this question from Benny in Wonderland. Why do you guys TIG weld your chassis over MIG weld? Does it create a stronger weld?
I believe it is stronger. it also looks better.
100%.
And you can control it. Is the real? There is really good MIG welds and not so good MIG welds. So for safety and I believe that it's a stronger, better, nicer, lighter, and more formed weld.
Yeah, I agree. You have to take your time more to do it, right?
For sure.
So it creates a lot more of a reliable product at the end.
You can see what you're doing when you're MIG welding it. You're just putting metal down. You're hoping it's penetrating.
Yeah, exactly. Shooting from the hip, so to speak. Nicole said Geiser has the best Christmas parties. That sounds pretty fun.
We've known her for 20 years or more.
Yeah.
So she likes coming to the Christmas party?
She does. Yep.
Does she get to eat any of the cookies like you guys got down in Baja?
Dave brings cookies, so you got to come.
That sounds like a pretty
anybody come to Christmas party, man. It's a great time, and you get to see all the stuff and check out everything.
Richard HPR Harding says one of my favorite shops to work with. The whole crew is great. You guys do have a pretty fantastic crew that you guys work with over here.
Yeah, it's good people.
Well, and you guys got to actually, we have a couple more questions here. Another one about the 4-wheel drive. When are you guys jumping on the 4-wheel drive bandwagon? I think you guys should probably listen to the show and check out their social media a little bit more because they have already had that stuff. Any plans for an all-wheel drive? Another question. We want to know about the electric TT, and you already kind of went over that stuff too. I'm sure you guys are going to get tons and tons of questions about that.
When Jake took that to the SEMA show, I've gotten 50 to 100 calls.
Oh, I could only imagine.
So more info. Once we start building it and getting stuff going, we'll keep everybody posted. And
I would probably suggest maybe if we're talking about social media, I would probably slow that down on social media because otherwise you're going to get bombarded with all that stuff, man.
Yep.
That stuff's crazy if you release something like that out there. It's so cool to me to see the progression of the off-road stuff. And we're going to talk, like I said, with Justin from Shock Therapy a little bit about this because he knows a lot more about this stuff than I do. So he can talk with you guys a little bit better about it. But being on the forefront has to feel pretty cool.
It's good. We've been up front for a long time, and we're I think we're slacking maybe a little bit on the all-wheel drive timing. But, we've had a good run for, 20-something years.
I wouldn't say that you guys are slacking at all, man.
We're still right there. And literally it's just like the one guy says, hey, how come you don't have the best driver out there or something? But it's we've had them and we've been through it and we know what it takes. And, today we don't have that going right now. But
some of it is a customer base. So the most of the drivers that have the other all-wheel drives are customers that we've had that wanted a different flavor.
Right. So, and that happens a lot. I mean, like, look at the new Supercross season. Jason Anderson moves from Husqvarna to Kawasaki. Eli Tomac moves from Kawasaki. I mean, everybody just wants a new change. Yeah. But I like what you and Rick the mindset that you guys have is, Rick said, we've been slacking on it. Truthfully, you haven't.
We haven't been slacking.
But that's the mindset that you guys have because you want to push forward and you want to keep that edge. So I really think that's a good way to operate a business in general.
Yeah, you got to try and keep on top of it and keep moving forward.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so we're going to go to a commercial break, and then we're going to have Justin Smith come on in about 10 minutes here. But before we go, I just want to know how long Geiser Brothers has been around. It's been 2 decades, but when did you guys start the business?
95.
95.
Right on.
So it was a stupid thing.
Was it at the same location or was it a different spot?
No.
Well, it was in his backyard.
There you go. Nice.
House. And had a little shop there. And then I was doing stupid stuff, and a Volkswagen Bug that I was working on fell on me, smashed my head.
Oh, crap.
Broke my skull.
Ugh.
I was in the hospital for 4 or 5 days, and nothing good. But I did walk out.
Oh, good. Thank God.
And then I don't remember what I did or if I called Jeff or what.
I was actually
he
at
came.
the Baja 500.
Oh, man.
And got a message at the hotel when I finished the race that's when I was working with Walker Evans. And I called the number, and it was intensive care, and I just asked if there's any Geiser there, and my sister said that you need to come home, and that he's in the hospital, and
Rick's dead.
So I
was.
Really, I came home, and I went back and got my stuff and moved down here, and he was working for Danny Fodrell and Buggy World, and I went to work for Danny, covering for Rick while he was dead, and then we just started working out of his backyard.
Then he told then I remember this day he came, and Lindsay was just a little baby, and he would bring her, and he told me, I'm coming to work for you. And I'm like, what, and he's like, you got to pay me, I don't remember what it was, but $400 a week. Or $300 a week.
I still make the same thing today.
He don't make much more.
Well, those stories.
I'm like, how am I gonna pay you $400 a week
when we don't have anything yet?
Yeah. No, I had plenty of work.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was. I overran the whole neighborhood and had trailers parked at neighbors' houses, and I think at one point we had 9.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see
something.
Macy Edmond. I don't know what it is. It says. I remember watching them build. Build those things out at the back of your mom's house. That's cool, man. I love those stories, man. Just like the computers nowadays, built them in garages, and now they're taking over the world, right?
Yep.
So it's got to feel pretty good. All right, guys, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. So all you guys on Instagram, just hang tight.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target, and we are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
We're here at the Mint 400. My name is Kerry King. I'm with the OTSFF Motul Vision truck. Motul oil is a big part of our race program. The consistency, the temperature that it holds, and the issues that we don't have while we're using that oil is self-explanatory.
Motul Oil, they've been with us for over 12 years. They jumped on board with us with the 6100 race truck here, and Mint 400, and they've been an amazing partner with our lubricants. And really, it's allowed us to finish every race in 2019, and we're jet setting really well here for 2020.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Yeah, finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I'm trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like, let's say, a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up.
You can patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah, also as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel, and then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything, so that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
it's
the
It's like a first aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, Chase trucks have it as well, so that, if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
All right, we are back. The Dirt Life Show, episode 110 at Geiser Brothers in Phoenix, Arizona. We're with Rick and Jeff Geiser. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with us throughout. Man, I just love talking about the stories and like having all that fun. Like I had so many questions about the different trucks and stuff, but then I was like, these truck stories are stuff that you guys deal with on a day-to-day basis. Like the stories are so much more fun to talk about. So I think we're going to talk about some of the stuff like that after we talk to Justin at Shock Therapy about a little bit of the progression of off-road, if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
So we'll talk with him and see what he thinks, because he can give us actually a lot about an understanding of the way that the suspension works and progression of UTVs and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see what the parallels are with the trophy trucks. Justin Smith, Shock Therapy, what's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
We're doing awesome over here, man. We've been sharing some stories and talking about the Baja 1000. They've been talking about some legendary drivers that they worked with. Everything from, which car did you just show me that Lindsay drove? The Class 9 car?
That was the one I started in.
Oh, that was the one you started in?
Limited buggy, yeah.
All the way up to Justin now having all-wheel drive trophy trucks, and even the newest thing that they're going to have is an electric trophy truck. It's pretty cool to see the progression, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about, because you've been on the forefront of the UTV industry progression, so I wanted to see what the parallels were.
If you don't mind, George, I'm going to sidetrack that really quick. That was a cool segue into what we're going to talk about, right? But I think you guys can't beat Rob Mack in a Geiser truck. Who's got more wins? Who's got more champions than that?
Yep.
Championships in that.
Copy that for sure.
Dude, the GOAT is what we call him.
Fact. Also, the first thing I'd like to say is that I've got a ton of stories about these guys.
Oh, yeah?
Easy.
While.
Hey, so maybe we should just...
Hey, we've known Justin for...
Maybe we
20
should
years?
Maybe we should skip the progression of off-road and just go straight into the stories. That's kind of what I want to talk about.
Be good.
You want to go back and now, and that's for sure. Maybe we'll come back to the progression.
Yeah, we don't have time for that crap.
You deal with it. It's too boring on a day-to-day basis, right?
Yep.
Hey, so give me your first good story then, and we'll see where it goes.
Definitely boring, but I want to start off by saying that both of these guys are one of the biggest mentors to me in anything that I've ever done. In the past, anything I've ever screwed up, anything I've ever done well, I pretty much, I probably came over there and got advice from Rick on how to do it right. And I got advice from Jeff on how to weld it right. So when we were short on chromoly, it was like, Rick, help me out. He'd throw me a sheet. It was that easy all the time. We were across the street for a little while.
That's awesome, man. It's that camaraderie you're talking about, man.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yep.
At the time, it'd bring over any little sand car that we would build and go, hey, man, check it out. And Rick would get a ride, and that's where I'm going to go with one story. I remember Rick telling somebody else. So I came over and said, hey, Rick, hop in this thing real quick. It's kind of hauls ass, and it was like twin turbo V8 in a sand car. And we go down the street, and it's a wheelie here and a wheelie there, pretty much all through, I don't know, 3 or 4 gears or so. And I dropped Rick off, and it was no big deal. But then, like 3 months later, he's telling the story.
It was a big deal.
How it was terrifying. So
yeah, it was a big deal.
I think it was more sky than asphalt in our vision. It was. I was trying to show off because I was trying to impress Rick.
Yeah, you trust me, Justin. I can tell you that I remember every bit of that, and it's probably still one of the quickest I couldn't do nothing about it. We were either going to go or crash or die or something, but
get a little bit
of course you got to realize we're on a commercial street.
Yeah.
And there's cars and I think we're in 4th gear wheeling for 2 blocks.
Just looking at the sky.
Yeah, well, there was sky, but it was every gear. It was one of the cars Justin built. It was twin turbo. I remember every bit of it, and if I thought about it, I could tell you what color it was, but I think it was orange. But I don't.
Yep. Candy apple orange and flames.
Yep. So it was it was impressive, and it was definitely changed. A trophy truck would never do that, just to tell you. Now I couldn't imagine the sand cars today. Back then that was 20 years ago, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was probably 700 horsepower in a 20.
Yeah, your cars were bigger and a little bit heavier, but you imagine something with a bigger motor and a better gearbox and bigger paddles.
Oh, like some of those Tatums or racers or something, dude. Those things are so sweet, man.
Silly stuff but
they're having some horsepower wars on that stuff now, and these guys are 150 to 190 mile an hour in the sand. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Holy crap! Really that fast?
Yeah. They show it. There's somebody that showed like 170 or 80 miles an hour on the GPS.
Good God, really?
I think they had it in their plane, and then they just showed it. No, I'm just joking. But
I was gonna say, dude, I
think 140 or 150 in a sand car.
That's still insane.
It's not.
192. Kenny is saying.
Yes.
It is not. Say that whatever that car is going to get wadded up when that happens. Hopefully that happens. But you say that that trophy truck wouldn't have done what that sand car did that day. Well, that's like the easiest thing to say. The one thing that the sand car will never do is what a trophy truck does, like 100 times over.
Yeah. And safer
so,
safer.
Exactly. So
or it's built. It's built to do that.
Taking trophy mentality in racing, both in the structure, design, engineering, and team approach, is kind of where a lot of the UTV stuff is going now. And to get back to your original point, George, sorry to sidetrack you with that.
No, absolutely. I mean, I love the stories more than the professional talk anyways. I just know that we had a lot of people commenting in and stuff, just asking about the progression of the off-road industry in general. And I think for the most part, I mean, we heard it in the questions. How many times did we hear the all-wheel drive and the electric truck questions? I think it's just the future, right? Like all-wheel drive and electricity. I mean, it's just the way that it's going to go. So let's go back to some of the stories, though. I mean, you've had so much interaction. You guys are both in Phoenix, Arizona, Shock Therapy and Geiser Brothers. You guys have both been in the off-road industry for a long time. You guys even test out at a play. Justin tests the UTVs. I mean, he tests them all the time.
Yep.
I mean,
we see him out there half the time.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. At Geiser Loop is what they call it.
I really don't know how that got named that. Of course, yes, we tested out there for 20 years.
It's probably because you guys are out there all the time.
But it's it's good. It's good, for everybody, and it's a great place for a little test and hopefully you do it safe. You know?
Hey, well, I'll agree it's a good for testing. Justin took me out there. It's not a good place to drive. Like, I didn't have fun.
Crap,
oh, my God.
All them UTVs are just tearing up our trophy truck track.
Justin told me, he's like, go around backwards because you're going to get so mad.
Backwards. You got to go backwards. It's way better. Way better. In a trophy truck, it does even matter, too.
We cheat and go backwards on the loop now just because you're just asking for your kidneys, or you're going to piss blood if you go that way.
Yep. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. But that's what I'm saying is you guys share a lot of the same, I don't even want to say resources because it's not like business resources, but it's off-road community, right? It's small, and you guys have worked together to be able to push the industry forward. Like, I love seeing the stuff that you guys are talking about and the stuff that Justin talks to me about all the time. It's just so cool to see the off-road community pushing forward in anything that they do.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think it's one of them, he has a whole different market than we have, but really it comes down the same, we're trying to do the same thing as he's doing. He's trying to do the same thing we're doing in a bit, in different markets, I guess you would call it,
Yeah, what is it? That's actually a good question, Justin, is what is the stuff that they do when you keep your finger on the pulse that you can utilize stuff like that in the business that you have and the racing, stuff that you guys do?
Well, I think from a design and an engineering standpoint, trophy trucks are at the pinnacle of that. When it comes to off-road racing, nothing works better. The geometry is perfect. The components are strong enough to put up with the abuse, and that mentality, that thought process, if it can be used with what we do in UTVs, then everything about the UTV industry is going to be better, especially in the racing side of things. Now, the racing end of UTVs may not be the biggest part of the market. Of course, it's not. Most racing, typically, everybody's on a basis. But if a little bit of what we learn while racing with that mentality of make it the best you can, engineered the best, as light as possible, but still strong, never break, finish races, can trickle down into what everybody else is driving, then their weekends are awesome. They don't have short weekends.
Yeah, for sure.
Pissed off, rip an arm off of it when they just hit a bush in the dunes, or playing around Ocotillo Wells, or in Texas, or even Louisiana in the mud. If they've got a full weekend, it's because of the trophy truck mentality that has trickled down into UTVs.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And Justin actually has a good program because he does this a lot in his business. Is he puts all of the stuff into his racing program that he's trying to develop for his customers, right? Very similar to what you guys do. So you go out and test at the races. You go out and figure out if it's going to be a failure. It's going to be on you. It's going to be part of the bad for the race program, but it's going to end up being really good for the end consumer. And that's a lot of the stuff that both of you guys do.
Yep. No, it's and I believe the same thing you said, Justin. It's you look at a trophy truck, you look at a UTV, completely different animals, but you're building something or selling parts to make a manufacturer's stuff better, which everything you build, I've seen all of it. Every piece is nice, every piece is better, every piece is more reliable, every piece is, costs more money, and that's what you're into. This is building better stuff for, so that people have a good time, So same with trophy truck, it's these are toys. You build toys. It's all just take some of the stuff that bigger stuff, make it smaller.
That's exactly it. And I think that if every manufacturer, at least in our UTV industry, could adopt the trophy truck mentality, then all the parts that were made would be amazing. I mean, honestly, because if it's not, then it's not going to live and it's not going to be on a truck.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
and
that's it.
I think everybody in this conversation right now too has had their failures, right? What you know exactly what you don't want to do next time.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing that makes the progression so interesting, right? Because if you didn't know what was messed up, then you wouldn't know how to go past it and make it better.
Yep.
I think that's so cool that you guys all do that. Justin, do you remember any stories seeing these guys at the track or anything over the past 2 decades that you can talk about? That's PG-13.
Well, I mean, first, let me say that there's not a better group of guys in the industry than these guys sitting next to you. They've done nothing but help me every step of the way, anytime that I ever needed it or ever had some ridiculous question. And you know what? Another thing too, Rick could be busy trying to bang a truck out that was leaving that night to go to a race, and he would stop and talk to me every single time. So I never forgot that. It was years ago, Rick. I think we met in 98, 99, and it's never changed. Also, these guys never talk any smack. I've never heard a bad word out of their mouth about anyone, even if somebody dicked them on something. So it's solid. That it's also a reason why, they've been in the industry forever and build the best truck made.
Yeah, I could.
Thank you.
I could definitely agree with that.
Having said that, I have to. So Jeff has mad fab skills. I don't know if you guys have already talked about this, but basically he's built every single truck through that shop, right? But I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but Rick's got some fab skills too.
Oh, really? Should we have a competition here? A fab competition?
Yeah. I had to work one time. It's been a while, but I did work one time. And you ask all my guys, I'm better off in the office because I don't know how to do nothing. I could say, Justin, I could still hang with the best of them. I promise you that.
I bet you can. I had a customer that was driving me nuts. He had to have something that I committed to that I couldn't get done. And I walked in the door and I'm like, Rick, do you guys have time for this? And I'm looking around. As I asked that, there's like 7 trucks that are apart that they got to bang out. And Rick said, oh, hell yeah, I'll do it. It was just shock mounts on the front of an F-150. And I turned around, left, and I came back like a day later, and Rick's the one that was banging the whole thing out, and they were badass.
Nice.
But the last thing he should have been doing is that, but he did it for us. It was awesome.
That's super cool. It all goes back to that camaraderie thing, getting everything done. It's pretty cool to see that. And adversely, talking about Justin and the stuff that he's done now, you obviously knew him when he was building the sand cars and stuff like that. To see where he's at now and the progression of his business and the UTV industry and how much he's actually helping all of his customers have better times. Yeah. Do you know the story of why he started Stock Therapy? He had told us on the show that we had with him a year and a half ago. And
I don't know the whole reason, but of course when he got into it was like, I say perfect. I think, Justin, you even said something about me helping you build something at one time when you were trying to get it started or something. I don't remember all of it, but I'm like, man, I'm too busy, dude. I don't have time to do that.
But it's awesome to see where he's taking it, man.
No, his business has gone, and he even, same thing. Hey, I bought a new building. You got to come check it out.
Yeah.
And he's got I got this machine now, and I got that, and I'm building these, and it's
so now if you guys need help, you guys can rely on him too.
And I think, Justin, last time we talked, we talk every once in a while, but a year ago you said, hey, I just bought another machine. If you ever need something or you ever need to use my machines, come over. CNC machines are like a trophy truck. You don't just let anybody use them.
Yeah.
But he was like, hey, if you ever, we have 6 CNC machines right now.
Yep.
And, I don't know how many you have now, Justin, but whatever it is, it's good in keeping your business going. But it's for somebody to say, if you ever need a machine, come over and you can use it.
Absolutely. That's like telling somebody, hey, if you want to drive my Ferrari, come on over and drive it.
Pretty much. It's, for some of these machines that we have cost way more than Ferraris.
Yeah, absolutely. It's neat to see, though, and he's doing it because of the good stuff that you guys did in the past.
I think it's all, he's got a business mind that keeps moving him forward and getting bigger, and he's excited about building badass parts.
Hey, so let's talk about some of those badass parts. So the stuff that Justin is doing for UTVs now, and the shocks and the suspension and everything, is fantastic. And a lot of it comes from the direction that you guys lead with trophy trucks and the suspension and stuff. So maybe you guys can go back and forth a little bit about the correlations there.
Well, I'll lead on that one because a lot of the bigger shock stuff that's coming out of the Fox race division right now, maybe pushed and spurred by John Marking coming back out of the military division and kind of running the race division. Electronic controlled, 4-inch bypasses and coilovers and things that direction. hopefully that's trickling or getting to where you guys are able to use it. I know that John's been working on it for quite a while. Well, that ECU and technology comes from the development from Fox and Polaris through their dynamic system.
Yep.
And then the further development with Can-Am. So our industries are so intertwined, more so than most people think or would know or believe.
Yeah.
And I think that the more that everybody communicates, better everything's gonna be. And it's really, really tough to say that some of the shock technology out of UTVs is gonna improve a trophy truck. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. But electronically, it is a possibility. And I think that what they've learned in trophy trucks is trickling down and getting into UTVs as well.
Yeah, I think that
they have
sharing all those resources, right?
Yeah.
And they have one of our trophy trucks with all electronic shocks on it that they've been testing.
Oh, really?
So it's for real. And like you said, it's I'm sure that part of it had to do with the Raptor, part of it had to do with a lot of the UTV stuff for control wise and all that. And we do talk to John all the time and the guys at Fox, and incredible of something that they can do that and make it all happen. And it is happening, right? I mean, it's literally they're on the truck and they have tested, and 3 or 4 of the guys that have all of our trucks have been driving it, and we have been we've been invited out to drive it at some point. But yes, it's all I think a balance, in their business to mine and your business.
For sure. And like I said, it's all interconnected, whether we can talk about some of the details on it or not. But, the sky's the limit on the stuff that's being developed right now. And when it comes to shock.
Yeah.
And pretty soon you're going to have touchscreen iPads that are controlling everything, and you're going to have terrain following. That stuff is, maybe not in the next few years.
It's around
the
corner.
Certainly in less than a decade. And that is a combination of trophy truck and UTV development together, even though those industries don't normally talk.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty cool to see, though. You got to really appreciate that because I asked these guys at the beginning of the show, Justin, if they ever thought that trophy trucks would be as far advanced as what they are now, and the answer was no. But you really have to understand how awesome it is that the past, 5 to 8 years, the UTVs have actually helped a little bit.
Sure. No, they have, and really we have them.
Yeah.
And for somebody to buy something off the shelf, I call it,
You're talking about going down to the dealership and buying a UTV?
Yeah. It's flipping incredible.
Yeah.
You got a baby trophy truck.
A lot of people that go out buying them to go pre-run with, and they don't do anything to them, just buy it and go pre-run.
Throw a little cage on it and you're ready to rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely out of control, and
the race side of it is as being in the trophy truck side of it is now on the UTV racing. There's not much left of the UTV anymore. These are nothing left of a regular pickup truck anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
hubs, everything,
motors, trannies,
the spindles,
everything Justin makes, sway bars, steering, hubs.
Yeah, I still got to say, for Justin's sake, and I'm not just fluffing Justin right here, but
really,
that steering rack that he has, that thing is like a freaking Tiffany bracelet for us off-road guys, man.
Yeah.
All the stuff is is good candy,
dude. I love
really
those
means
things.
In Justin's world, the stuff. There's people that build stuff in the UTV market that you go, I don't think that'll hold up.
Yeah, we could live without that.
90% or 99% of the stuff Justin build is real life race parts that are beautiful, that are nice and production wise, and him selling it is if there was as many trophy trucks as UTVs, man, I'd be sitting on the beach somewhere.
Yeah.
How could you ever build hundreds of trophy trucks a year? Let me ask you that.
Oh, no,
be careful what you wish for.
It's not. Today, you can't build 2 a year, but
it's because of level of detail.
Trying to get parts.
Trying to get parts.
But yeah, I see what you're saying because of the current world that we're living in.
Yeah.
Man, that's insane.
It's, engines. You could buy motors in, 6-8 weeks, and now it's like, might be 26 weeks. I think I ordered a motor, and the engine builder told me 26 weeks. That's half a year. That's 6 months. We could build a whole truck in, if everything goes good, and we had metal, like, you said you borrowed some one time, and, metal and Heim joint. Just there's a hiccup in every little market that holds you up, So it's, getting parts today might be harder. We used to get, I'm looking at this truck, we used to get fiberglass. I'd call up and a week later I'd have it. Now it's like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's just the way it goes these days. Justin ran into some of those problems too, but he's fixing them by doing it himself now.
We have, just like Justin, we have bought not every machine to build anything, but we could build anything here.
Yeah.
I mean, we can cut it, bend it, machine it, weld it, but now it's coming to Jeff a week or so ago is like, hey, give me some of this tubing. And you call, maybe February.
God, that's insane. Man.
They quit making tubing, I guess, now. So, but we can't. I'm not going in the tubing business. So, Justin, you can't buy it from me.
Hey, Justin. So it is pretty cool that you guys do share a lot of that stuff, man. I can only imagine the things that you guys have crossed paths with in the past 20 years. It's really cool to hear those stories, dude. I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us.
Anytime, man. I'm glad I could, impart something to this conversation, but it's very hard when you're talking to the guys that build the best stuff in the industry and in the pinnacle class of racing. Everybody should listen to everything they say. I did.
Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate it, and good to see you again. And
sure.
Rick, Jeff,
keep it up. Keep it all going, buddy. Keep the ball rolling.
It's good when you see your name everywhere out there. So you're doing something
what?
right.
There's a lot of that.
Really appreciate everything, Justin.
Thank you, guys. Come over to the shop so we can go have lunch.
Yeah, buddy. Have a great night.
All right, see ya.
So those conversations are few and far between, right? Because you guys are all so busy. Justin's so busy, but you have to respect and appreciate the last 2 decades, right? Like you guys understanding the mutual respect that you guys all have for off-road and the things that you guys are doing. You guys are obviously on different paths, but it's pretty awesome to be able to see the success that off-road has given all you guys.
For sure on that.
It's been incredible, and it's really no end in sight.
Yeah, and even like Lindsay just passed by, she just walked by, but even to see it trickle down, and she's in the off-road industry as well. All right, so we already talked about how long the business has been around. We answered some of the Instagram questions. I had a question that, it's not more like a comment, but you've really worked with a lot of amazing people over the years. Fantastic drivers, like we talked about, but maybe each one of you could give me a little bit of a perspective on some of the milestones that really help shape your individual perspective on where you're at now.
I think having the top-notch drivers that we had and getting the input back from them and being able to take that into putting that to work and building off of that and not saying, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of guys would say the driver should just drive better.
Right? Shut up and drive.
Well, we started out like nothing was drawn on CAD. I just kind of
Jeff's blueprints are a stinking yellow pad of paper
with
a spiral notebook.
That's how good ideas start, though, man.
Yeah. But just drew it up, and we kind of hit it on the mark pretty close right off the get-go, and we've just built off of that. And to have a platform that you have something good and you can just make better, then it's been a kind of easy road. And then we had, top drivers from all the McMillans to Bryce to Rob Mack, to Jesse Jones, and
Abdali,
everybody.
Tons and tons of guys.
Lalo Laguna. I mean, we had.
There's hundreds, actually.
Yeah. We really have had a lot of good drivers,
So is that kind of where you're leaning at for your milestones then? Is just the understanding and being able to adapt to what these people are telling you to move forward.
Take it all in and try and make it better.
That's a successful business practice for whatever it is. If you're making widgets, it doesn't matter, right? Because if you are closed-minded and you think you're doing it right, you're going to be destined for failure, right?
You're stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love that that's your answer. How about you, Rick? Do you have any milestones that you think, maybe even 1 or 2, 20, that changed your path or your direction of where you see it now?
I think, I don't know, really, I think it really hit me of trying to do stuff a little bit more maybe production-wise is, at one point I had 10 trucks on order.
Oof.
And these people are like literally killing me to,
Yeah, calling you every 5 minutes, get it done.
First.
Yeah,
like me first.
Yeah. There's guys that were like, hey, I don't care, but I'll pay more money
Right.
to have the next truck. And I really can't do that. I don't care that you're.
Yeah, if they have money or not.
Doesn't matter who it was, But it come down to that every truck we're building it was, a masterpiece and really who would have ever the milestone is it clicks every time of the car number.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, we hit 25. I'm like, here I thought we grew up in racing motorcycles. Then we raced big wheels, little plastic big wheels.
You were the innovators of the Nitro Circus?
No, but we know all them guys. But we raced motorcycles not very long, and we were younger, dumb kids, and then we got into like the Honda Odysseys.
Yep.
And
some will say the first side by side.
Yeah, we beat the crap out. Well, then we got into then we got into FL. Then Jeff went to work for Walker. I started racing some Mickey Thompson stuff.
Yep.
In the little super lights and in the 1600 buggies, and then we started working on people's cars and helping. And I think it's funny, the guy Steve Godfrey that was here today was really the first race I ever raced with off-road, was a Mint 400.
Yeah.
He had built this car, and we go to this race, a local race, and he said, hey, I'm not feeling good. Why don't you and Chris, his kid was like 10 or 12, and we went and signed up, and we won this little local race that had, 50 cars, like a snore race today or a more race or something. It was ADRA, or it was, what was it back then?
It was ADRA.
ADRA. Yeah. And I won overall.
Nice. There you go.
And so then it was like, hey, you want to drive for me? Hey, you want to help me with my car? Hey, so that's how we started, really. Is I had me and my wife were talking about it. I bought a new.
Sometimes those are just off chance experiences, though, right?
Yeah, I bought a new box truck for the, a support truck to take to the races to help, all of our teams. And back then I had a box van. It was a 79 Ford, and I literally would go to every race, and people knew me as just the guy that helped.
Nice.
And so anyway, we did that. Then it's really just evolved of all the race stuff, but where we grew up and where we our dad died when I was 8, Jeff was 7. So we didn't grow up with money. We didn't grow up with big backing behind us. Whatever we wanted, we had to do ourselves.
Yeah, so and I can see that has had a long-lasting impression on a lot of people because you guys are both so humble and you understand the work that goes into your passion.
Yep. It's all about. I say we put every bit of everything back in the business.
It's pretty cool to see, man. Joe Whining and I actually had a conversation about this. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago, but we were sitting in there, and I think he had just started taking over Jesse Jones's program, and so one of his trucks was down there, and he needed help working on other people's stuff, so he hired a guy, and he goes, George, I don't understand why these guys look at their watch at 4:59. The job's not done.
Right. It's never done.
But the point is his reality wasn't the same as everybody else's, and it's very true that your guys' reality is you work until the job is done. You get things done, right? And that's what makes a good product in the end.
Sure,
that's what makes these trophy trucks sitting behind us. It's really awesome to see that.
Somebody said the difference between, I don't remember if it was me or one of my employees or something or whatever, is whose name's on the front of the check.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's we have really good employees. that really know how to win and what to do. And the guys that prep stuff, the guys that build stuff, we have some of the best welders and some of the best mechanics, and we have Jeff, but we have we have
everything.
We have really the best fabricator, I believe, in anywhere. He only wants to kill me about once a week
or more.
Yeah,
but
6.9 times a day.
Yep.
So we had a couple questions come in. One that I thought was pretty interesting from Kevin McCullough. He said, it's not an off-road question, but I admire Jeff and Rick as great people with always great advice, being father of all girls. Rick and Jeff with Lindsay and Corey. What is some advice you would have for me as a new dad to my daughter?
Kevin's a great guy. Knowing him and his parents for
since he was a kid, peeing on himself.
Put the mic a little closer to your mouth.
Yeah, but he's really support, and if she wants to go racing, start saving your money now.
That's what it is.
But, no, all my kids, my son Race, I named him Race, but I didn't let him race long enough, and he holds it against me now.
Oh, really?
But
what does he expect you to name him? Soccer or something?
I must have. But to support them in whatever they want to do, and they've been around it their whole life.
Yep.
They've been interested in it, and they go to all the races still, and it's become their life now, and so they're involved in anything to go with it. And Rick's daughters raced trophy carts with all my kids when the trophy carts first started. It was a crazy life.
I'm still a little jealous as a kid. I didn't get to race trophy carts. They look so fun.
Still
there
can.
was 100 of
right
them.
behind you is a big
a big trophy
senior
cart.
Trophy cart.
You had to pre-enter. There was 100 carts, and you had to
no freaking way
pre-enter or you miss the cutoff.
Really? 100. What year was this?
Probably 2005, probably.
That's the golden era for trophy
so
cars.
99 and 2000.
She
So it had to be
10.
It had to be
holy smokes.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7-ish, somewhere around there.
Yeah, they were crazy.
That's insane. And then we have like the mod kids now and all that stuff. And there's only it's
now
cool.
They're all moving up to trophy trucks.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane to see, man. Well, and we already had that comment come in from Tim Martin, said humble is a extreme understatement for these two. That goes a long way in business and racing and anything that you do, as long as you understand what your value is internally, but you're a humble person outside, right? You know what I mean? So it really has a long-lasting effect. So I appreciate that you guys have those qualities. What has been some of the favorite projects that you guys have worked on over the years? And I'm not just talking about fabricating or building. Like one of the newest projects that you got to work on was with, we're going to call it the media machine of the Hoonigans. And those are completely different projects because it's not necessarily building a whole new truck, right? It's a whole new venture that you guys have to partake in. So if there's not that, like what are some of the other cool projects that you guys have had to work on over the years?
I think the big splash that was a lot of work was building the Bronco.
Oh, yeah.
Doing the project for Ford, and then led into, after doing the Baja project, then led into doing the King of Hammers trucks. And so we did 3 of those for them, and it's
I remember seeing stuff about that. That was a super cool project. Aside from the Bronco project and the Hoonigan, what do you think, Rick?
I don't know. I think I'm overwhelmed every day of all the projects.
Yeah.
But it's really like, I don't know that there's been any, special ones that stood out. It's just,
yeah, because it's always a stepping stone, right?
They're all moving forward. It's like, oh man, you got Ford Motorsports and Ford Performance behind you now, and you got this, and that was a great program, and we learned a lot. They learned a lot. They did what they wanted to do. We got the stuff, and but really, I think the new G6
doing the 4-wheel drive.
The 4-wheel drive was one. The new G6 was like, we pretty much sat down and he wrote down 47 things that he knew needed to be better, and then we got with, say Rob Mack. and we got with this guy and that driver and this driver, and then we got with the fabricators of how to build it, easier, and then we got with Corey that drew the whole thing.
Yeah.
And we got with now we got every machine that we need, and we built a lot of billet parts, and we built some titanium parts, and we built.
So now you have all the tools to execute.
Yeah, it was more of the G6. I think was the, we took 20 years of 68.
We probably did the first 20 trucks
Manual.
all hand
Yeah,
built,
hand
one-off,
bent,
just
hand cut.
off my blueprint.
Mickey
Good God,
Mouse,
that must have
Mickey
been
Mouse fixtures,
That must have been so much work.
and then to gear up for, like, Jeff had built all the A-arms, or perfect thing, the rack plate that holds the A-arms and the rack and
Yep.
pinion.
Mhm.
I remember him building 2 or 3 of them in one day.
Oof.
Built, drilled the 16 holes in it, cut it, sanded it, all this. Well, now we have it laser cut. It costs about $20 a piece.
Yeah, and it probably takes about 10 minutes compared to
I
what
think
it
it's
is, right?
even less than 10 probably. We cut all 3 in 10 minutes.
Jesus, man. And
So
do you remember those days of just
Oh,
putting
yeah,
in the
for
blood,
sure.
sweat, and tears?
Yeah.
Building A-arms,
Let's see here.
cutting every part out.
We had 2 comments come in. I'm going to take the one from Chad Soren. He said, did Jeff like building the 3-seater?
for
his
Pete.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told him
Well,
he was
Pete,
nuts, but-
Pete was a whole different animal.
Yeah. Anybody that knows Pete knows that if he
I raced
if he
that
wants
truck.
something,
What was the purpose
if
of
we
it,
want
first of
building,
all?
he wanted to be able to stay in it and drive. He's got somebody to navigate,
He
somebody to
got-
watch the gauges, and he's got 2 guys to change his tires.
And he's got 2 people to pay the bill.
Well,
So
I
he
mean, I
was
guess-
he was giving people rides.
I guess there's some logical thinking behind it, right?
So I raced that truck with Pete for the first year.
Yeah?
And we built it and we took it to Laughlin, and it really wasn't ready, but we took it there anyway. And then Pete went 7.5 miles and wadded the thing up.
Oh, great.
So right off the get go. So then we stay up all night and we fix it and Mickey Mouse it together. And then I went out the next day, and if you guys remember the video of that truck and Chet
Those
Huffman I'm up on the back of Chet Huffman at 120 miles an hour.
Really?
And so the 3-seat program, it was pretty cool. If you think about the single seater of Ivan Stewart,
Yeah.
you're in the middle of the car, you pivot, you move less, you move forward less, side to side left, and so it's easier on your body. So you could drive longer.
It's crazy to think, though, like that, and I can only imagine the calls that you get or that come into the shop, and they're like a crazy request, like a 3-seater, right?
Yep.
And then you go to Jeff, and you're like, "Hey, could we do this?" And he's like, "Dude, no, freaking."
He's
I want to put 2 engines in it.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can only imagine that
Yeah.
conversation.
It wasn't much, but it was it really in Jeff's eyes on that it's going to be a bad project. We don't need to be doing that. We build trucks every day that win races. We don't need that. Tell him, give him his money back.
Yeah.
It really worked. Me being the business side of it, it was good. It was a good project. We've done really good with it. Jeff tested it for 6-7 months.
Yeah, like you said,
He
at the
raced
beginning,
it. He raced it for the first year of every race.
Yep.
Him and Clyde, and it's really like if you could ever imagine, it's literally out of control.
I can only imagine. Like, I don't know what I would do. I mean, I think about, like, people driving a Corvette with traction control and they get nasty. Yeah. I could only imagine what something like that does.
Yeah, it's not like the easiest thing to drive.
Well, then give us the difference, since we're talking about the ease of driving. What's the difference, or maybe Jeff can do it better, I don't know, but between the all-wheel drive truck and the two-wheel drive truck? We asked Rob Mack kind of the same question.
The all-wheel drive, just like Matney's, it's like kind of stupid easy to drive.
Yeah, that's what a lot of the guys that I've said. I mean, they use like it's a weird term, but it's like a cheater truck, right?
Yeah.
Like
you're 75% in the 4-wheel drive is 100% in the 2-wheel drive, and you're kind of the all-wheel drive point and shoot. I mean, you throw it in and stab the gas, and there you go. Where the 2-wheel drive, you're chasing it around, trying to control it.
That's exactly what Rob said on Tuesday. He said that the 2-wheel drive is you have to predict a lot more what you and the vehicle are going to do together.
Yeah.
There, you can be more reactive.
Yeah. With the twin, it's they're both. You're kind of in two-wheel drive, so under decel, all 4 wheels are decelling. So coming into a slide or something, you're in a 4-wheel drift rather than trying to set the truck. The whole truck's sliding, so you got a lot more throttle control, and it weighs about 500 pounds more than our.
It's cushy.
Yeah,
it's really cushy because it's heavy.
Yep,
it goes though. It's got
a lot more roll.
Imagine that car has 2 525 horse motors in it.
Yeah,
we did it on a chassis dyno. It makes almost 200 more than Matney's truck with 1,000 horsepower big block in it.
Good God!
But it's not. This car goes good from say 0 to 80 or 90, and then it's like a small motor truck after that.
A lot different vibration and stuff. Like
like Matney's 4-wheel drive with the big block. It goes. You go 80. And you want to go 120, you push the gas more. You want to go 150, you push the gas more.
Was there any harmonic differences?
This car has bad, like if you've ever been in a twin-engine airplane, the I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, if they get
both motors running.
Cycling.
Yeah,
it's like
and they get off rhythm or something. Yeah.
They're both coming out the same pipe, but they're both teed in together, so it makes a lot of noise, that's for sure.
It's cool to see, though, and that progression is what I'm most interested in. I really like it. We had a couple comments come in. One that I thought was interesting. John Lewis says, I remember that 3-seater crash. The wreck over the road crossing was on one of the Desert People videos.
Yeah.
What crash is he talking about?
That was Pete's. That was his 7.5 miles.
Yep.
Oh.
It was on the power line.
It was a washout, cross wash, and there it went.
Oh, it just stuck the back end and flipped
it landed on its wheels. He's like, "You guys all right?" But it had blown the steering ram apart.
Oh,
and so they
were toast. Done. Oh, so man,
we fixed it.
How many times have you said that?
Yeah,
we fixed it. So we kind of talked about that. Some of the cool things that I was looking at when I was looking at stuff. You've got to deal with some cool projects like we talked about with the Hoonigans most recently. But one of the cool milestones that I saw was that when Matney had the rigid truck, it turned into an RC car for the kids.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool because that was like right at the time when I was getting into short course, and I saw one of those RC cars. Yeah. I was like, that is so cool. Like, what is that? And then I went to the races and I started looking at the races. So that had to probably be something pretty cool for you guys to see too.
For sure. It was, and how the RC car world is blown up, and now they're kind of.
They're mimicking stuff. Yeah.
Like the Traxxas stuff. We know Jenkins.
Yeah.
And they've had some of our trucks. But they, when they were producing that, we had talked to them. And it's funny, not really, they didn't build off of our truck. But if you look at the new UDR from Traxxas, it's like there's a lot of little Geiser stuff on it.
I mean, even like the trailing arms and the suspension system.
Trailing arms, sway bars, and the tire. The way the tires are mounted and the look of it a little bit, and so it's good that it, like you said, yes, the rigid. We know the guys at Rigid,
right?
Pretty good, and they talked to Justin, and we did a TV show back east with them.
Yeah,
with whatever Truckin' Nation, and
I remember seeing a couple of those.
Yeah, it was good. It was all good, and produced something good out of it that'll be around. Same with the Broncos. We built the Bronco, and I think Lindsay sent us pictures or something of now they've made a model out of it. They made a
Legos.
Puzzle, and they made a Legos, and Now I just saw, was it somebody said a keychain or something maybe? I don't remember.
Keychain and Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels.
So
Hot
these,
Wheels.
these are some of the milestones that I was talking about. So I'm glad this conversation popped up because that has to feel pretty cool that you guys had we'll call it a hand in it or a small hand in it, right? Like from the beginning. That's something pretty neat.
Yep. No, it's pretty. And, getting, I say having the, Ford Motorsport or Ford Performance, contract or whatever, that's a pretty big milestone, I think.
Yeah.
To have underneath your belt too,
Oh, okay. We got a couple more serious questions, but one question that I wanted to understand is why on the Baja results do they name Ford or CTM or why are some of the ones that are your trucks not labeled your trucks?
It's all when
weird.
they sign up.
And
what they put on their
how the
paperwork.
driver does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So if you see on their Ford, it could be, hey, they're
one of your trucks or a competitor's
yeah,
truck.
Yeah. It could be anybody's truck, but they put custom. They,
that's just weird to me. That's all I was wondering. Yeah. It's just a weird thing. Okay, so the Baja 1000 went good. You guys had a good time. I mean, it's your millionth Baja 1000, so that was cool. But the Mint 400 is coming up. It's in a little bit of a weird spot in the year. Does that mean you guys prep different? Like, what's the thought process going into it? Because it's going to come up in a couple days here.
Different truck, so you can't really go to the Baja 1000, come back and clean it up and go to the Mint 400. So.
Right.
So the guys that are going there either have a second truck or didn't race the Baja 1000.
Okay.
And then we take them, but will they be there with Robert Johnston, one of our trophies, and then Jesse James is racing one of ours.
Oh, that's going to be pretty cool.
And then
is that one of the trucks that you're preparing here in the shop?
He has it in Texas.
Oh, okay.
So they do it, and then Nunley that has been racing for a long time, they'll be racing also. So.
Right on.
We'll be managing 3 trucks and babysitting and pitting support and all that stuff. So
it's going to be pretty cool, man.
We'll have. I think we have 9 or 10 trucks in it.
Man,
so Travis Williams is one of them. I don't know all of them, but anyway, it's Rob Mack, of course.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, we talked to Rob on Tuesday, so we're looking forward to seeing him up there in his hometown.
It's good. Good.
It will be cool. And then so one last thing that I wanted to talk about that I know a few people asked about is the difference in the pre-runners nowadays compared to what they used to be. So, and specifically the, we'll call them half-ton pre-runners, not the UTV pre-runners.
Yeah.
How do you guys like building those?
They're a lot of work. They're a lot of work, but they're
impressive. They're stinking beautiful.
I feel like their reliability is so good.
They're all the same stuff off our trophy truck. So all the suspension off a trophy truck will go on those same shocks. Really, same motor, just lower compression, same transmission, same rear end, brakes.
So if you ended up needing something for your truck that you didn't have on the box, you got it.
Hot pursuit.
Yep.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty cool.
Yep.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at the Mint this coming week. And you guys kind of already brushed on this. We're going to go into our rapid fire Q&A section, but the last question of the night is what's in the future, near future for Geiser Brothers. Actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. What's in the near future, meaning 6 months to a year for Geiser Brothers, and then maybe what's in 5 years, 10 years down the line.
I go day by day. No, just joking.
I can promise that you have a big schedule.
More trucks and more. Definitely need to get the all-wheel drive finished. The electric truck is, hopefully a year. Hopefully the all-wheel drive and the electric all-wheel drive, within the next year, and really just bigger and better.
We have 3 trucks going right now. We got 3 pre-runners going right now. We got 3 more pre-runners to go and more trucks to go. And
the schedule's full, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's there's a lot going on. And, the world is a little bit crazy right now. So getting stuff and employees and,
You mean the hundreds and hundreds of shipping containers?
Yeah, I don't know that has much to do with us.
I can tell you man. I can promise
we got a truck going to Australia, and
cool.
I talked to the guy. We got two, one that's real close and one that's supposed to be shipping first of the year. And they are, it's like we don't even think about putting on a boat.
Yeah.
It's like we're going to just pay the money and ship them on air freight them.
Yeah.
And
that's way better.
Well, it's better. It's quicker. It just costs a lot more money.
Yeah, exactly. You know? We actually had Tom Young comment in. Actually, this is a really good question or comment. He says, okay, hope this makes sense. Many people or many fab guys have looked up to the Geiser brothers as idols. Who was your guys' idol when you guys were starting out?
I don't know if it's an idol. I think it's just the build of it. But Toyota was like or really, if you look in the background there, if anybody remembers Arnold of Larry Ragland's.
I don't, but maybe you could explain
that
a little.
Truck, really, Jeff was involved in it the first year. That was a factory Chevrolet deal for Larry Ragland, and it won 3 Baja 1000s.
After I came back from Walker's, I rode with Larry the next year. In that, we won the Baja 1000
point to point. But that truck was I think just it's not really one person. It's like, man, how do I build something better than that?
Yeah, that's a good point. But that's something to look up to that you keep striving for, right?
Everybody knows Robbie Gordon. He's made off road better and better and better.
Yep.
And I think I can't say we look up to him, but we can beat him, and we have beat him, and but it's a level.
But those are healthy competitions, right? Because it makes everybody better. Yeah,
it's all good.
Did you have anybody that you kind of strived to be like when you were younger? Maybe when you were just starting out welding.
I think when we were, I don't even know how old we were, but my brother used to take us to the Parker 400 and the Mint 400 back in the old days, and to see the Walker Evans and Ivan Stewart's and Mickey Thompson and
legends,
and to I went to work for Walker for 5 years and learned a ton there and great people and still good friends with all of them today, and to see where the Andersons have come, where Randy's kids have come and blew the whole thing up, and to see where the sport can still go, and to see it for this 25 years or whatever, that it's still exploding.
Yeah, and it's getting more fruitful, right? Yeah. Because of all the things. I love that. Like there's no other better way to explain it or to end those questions. So I think we're going to go into the rapid fire Q&A. You guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, you guys got to do it as quickly as possible. So we're going to let Rick go first, and you go after him, Jeff. All right, question number 1 to finalize the show: hard shell or soft tacos?
Hard shell.
You're going hard shell too?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Chicken or asada?
Chicken.
Asada.
Ooh, going asada. So you guys must have had some good
Baja tacos. Got to go soft because they're always soft in Baja.
Yeah, there's no other way to have it, right? No. Us Americans are spoiled with them deep fried tacos dorados, aren't we? Dunes or the river?
River.
Neither.
Hey, you just picking your office?
Yeah.
Well, okay. What's your dream vacation then? Where are you going?
I think next we're going to somewhere in Europe.
Ooh, that'll be pretty cool. My bucket list is still the Netherlands, man. I really want to go there. I think that would be super cool. 3-wheeler or quad?
I think I only had 3-wheelers. I never had a quad.
Yeah, I still have an ATC 70.
Do you?
Yeah.
Which 3-wheelers did you have? Did you guys have the, was it the two?
Dude, we had them all, everyone when they first came out. We had the 90 with the rubber tires. We had a 70 when we were, 7 or 8 years old.
I used to tell my mom and dad that they look like moonmobiles because they look like they just
90,
bounced. Yeah.
90. Then we got a 110.
Yep.
And then we got a we had 70s that were really trick.
What about the 250R and the 200X? You remember those bad boys?
Yeah.
We never had.
We didn't have them. No.
Those were like the pinnacle, right, of 3-wheelers.
We got Odysseys.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's where you guys
Odysseys.
went. Yes. So you went
Pilots.
straight into the safety
Straight
zone.
4-wheel.
Yeah.
Put a cage on it. Half a cage.
Something that kind of protects you.
Yeah.
You still have to wear a neck brace inside.
Oh, man.
Pizza rolls or jalapeno poppers?
Jalapeno poppers.
Pizza rolls.
Uh-oh.
My kids.
They got like pizza rolls, and you can never get away with it, man. Burn the shit out of the top of your mouth, man. Coffee or tea?
Neither.
No?
Neither, but coffee probably.
What's your guys' drink of choice then?
Coke.
You just like a Coke?
Dew.
Jeff's a crackhead.
Coca-Cola and Mountain Dew?
Every day.
I drink a soda pop. I drink a soda or half a soda can, and I start shaking, so it's...
Uh-oh. So you just stay off the caffeine?
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's see here. Favorite movie?
Top Gun.
Ooh, that's a good one. Just going for the flyby? How about you, Jeff?
I've been just Netflix stuff, all the racing stuff.
Did you see the?
Survive?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I did watch a little bit of that.
I couldn't stop watching it. I watched the whole thing.
I want somebody to be able to do that, and I keep telling Lindsay too. Actually, is like I want somebody to be able to make off-road as cool as Supercross or motocross or freestyle or like the F1 drivers. Like, how do we do that?
Right.
Like, how do we make that happen? It would be so cool to figure it out one of these days.
Neat.
It is. It's super cool, and the behind the scenes that actually goes on. Like, I remember coming back from the 1000 this year, and I'm sure you guys have more stories, but. I just wanted to be able to download everything that I saw in my head to the TV screen and show everybody, but it wasn't possible.
Right.
Okay, so if you could have one superpower, what would it be? I'm talking anything. You can be invisible, you can teleport, you can fly, you can have super speed, whatever it is. Read minds. Somebody picked read minds one time.
Super speed.
You're going super speed?
No, I read minds. Clone myself.
I definitely don't want to read minds either. When he said that, I was like, no way.
I'll clone myself.
So you have, so you have two people. That would be pretuld nice. But how would we know which Jeff we're going to get?
They're both the same.
Oh, so you just show up for 2 family dinners?
Yeah.
That would be perfect. All right, here. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Going Netflix. Let's see here. Oh, this one's a really good one, and I'm going to preface this one. Your most memorable race, and it doesn't have to be one that you've had, but like mine, for instance, was when I was racing 80 expert class. Got a really bad start at Glen Helen. Ended up being last. By the end of the finish line, I didn't win the race, but I was a wheel from winning the race. I rode fantastic. It was like the most memorable race for me. Even though I had many championships and all this other stuff, that was the one.
Wow.
So what about you guys?
Memorable race.
I mean, you guys have had so many. Maybe it wasn't even one that you guys were driving. Maybe it was something that you guys just remember. So
I think it was good. Of course, Lindsay was there. But when my 2 girls were racing for last place, and all they cared about is what they looked like.
Really?
Yep.
How awesome!
Literally, that's what it was about.
That's so cool.
And they wore their little fire suits around the whole day, and they were thinking, sunglasses and
top of the
signing
world
autograph. Yeah, they were just they couldn't care less if they even, And of course, I'm mad because they don't even try. They were trying. They were having fun. That's what we were doing.
But they look fantastic.
It was great, man. They're all like, all 3 of their paint jobs were the same.
Oh, really?
And their 2 were not the same,
That's
but
cool.
you could see a pink one. There was a purple one, and there was what was the other one?
Oh, and
a greenish teal color, maybe.
Yeah.
And they would go out there and stinking flip over and just, and
run into the K-rails.
Run into K-rails and
come back to the pits waiting for autographs.
They come back, man, and then, then I had another little one, Remy. She would go, man, just terrorize the whole pits. But, man, it was a family. It was the best racing when it was all of them doing it.
And that's probably a lot of the reason that you guys have so much fun being in the off-road world, because you guys still get to see that.
It was great winning races. I won a lot of races. I've driven a lot. I drove for, 30 years or something.
Yeah,
probably. And it's like, why don't you race anymore? I go, I just, I got a lot going on, and I need to make sure everybody's happy, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I haven't been anywhere close to that much of a legend, but like people ask me the same thing. Why don't you race anymore? And I've gotten hurt, and I've gotten into this transitionary period, and I really actually, as much as it might sound like I'm not competitive, I'm still competitive, but like I enjoy seeing the other people doing it. Like, it means a lot to me to see all these people to get to sit here and talk with you guys. Like, it's fantastic to learn all these stories and hear all this stuff. Because, okay, what was your most memorable race, Jeff?
Not because she's here, but probably the craziest was when
Lindsay
won the cup race. It was out at Firebird, and she
now known as Wild Horse Pass.
Yeah. And
were you just on the edge of your seat the whole time?
I couldn't spot. He spotted for her because
it wasn't out there, was it? It was in
Lake Elsinore.
Elsinore.
Oh,
Elsinore.
Yeah, and he's freaking out, and so I'm spotting for her, and we ended up winning.
Isn't that something that they say though? You can't have like somebody that's really close to you being the spotter because they have too much emotional investment.
Yeah, but when
maybe.
I was freaking out. but also like when I finally got my first podium in my Pro 2 after struggling for years and years, and
good feeling.
And then we got a few podiums all in a row there, and it was good. And Rick was my spotter.
I tried to kill him.
Hit it harder. And,
he's like, "You trying to kill me or what?"
But I was,
Ed Rye in the prize,
fat and out of shape, and waiting for that competition yellow to come out so I could start
take a break.
Yeah.
Eat a granola bar.
Don't talk to me, I'm breathing.
Actually, this is a good question that just came in. Joe Whining asks the story on the herder truggy.
Well, that was our
start
claim to fame, I guess, and we had.
I remember seeing that car. I think I only got to see it once or twice.
That's the Cameron pre-runner.
Oh, okay.
Cameron Steele has
we
it.
had built it, and it was a beautiful piece back in those days, and it was different. And we took the Off-Road Expo over in Pomona, and it wasn't done yet, but it was close. And
I remember what Kurt LeDuc said.
Why are you wasting all these times on all these shock mounts and stuff?
Welding. If that was one of my guys, I'd fire him if they spent all that time on the shock mounts.
Really?
Yeah.
But we got it done and went to Laughlin. Was the first race, and we went out the first day, first race, and we beat the Herbst Truggy.
Wow.
And that was
by 1 second.
And that was crazy. And they went home and changed the motor in the Truggy that night.
Really?
And put a fresh motor in theirs, and then the second day the steering broke on it. So
but that was where Gus Vildosa raced Class 1, and he came up to me and he goes, "I want one." Put my name down.
Yeah.
Right there at the race.
That's got to feel good to make a big impact like that.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, and it was kind of opened the door, and off we went.
But so I don't even know how to ask this question, but it's like an unplanned event like that. I mean, you've said it a couple times. It's just like choice decisions that have guided you guys along those things. I always tell everybody outside of an off-road context, life is just a bunch of choices. And it's clear that when you guys are making these choices, there's not necessarily a light at the end of the tunnel. You don't know if it's going to succeed, right? And you take this chance, and then you're like, oh, wow. Like, and then he comes up and says, I want one. It's like, wow, okay, we did make the right choice.
Yeah, I remember when Gus come up and said it was in contingency, but we had, been pre-running with it and stuff, and he didn't even really, he looked at it a little bit, and he goes, put me on the list, or how much are they? And I'm like,
now you got to figure it out.
I'll call you later. But for John Herder to do what we sort of asked him to do and foot the bill on that and make that deal happen was like a really big deal in our program.
Yeah.
And, of course, we worked on his stuff. We helped him. We did, prep and stuff on his other cars, some. And, come down to we're building something out of the blue with, a lot of new parts, but some used because he didn't have the money and we weren't having the money to pay for it. And so it was like, we got to just get through this with this. And then we go win with it. And it's like, okay, now we just we just screwed ourselves now. Now we got to go bigger and better.
Yeah, because now we got to actually build it like real That's cool, though. And one thing that I noticed about what you were saying there, Rick, was that you don't always have to have exactly what you're looking for to make it work.
No.
And that's a true fact in any type of off-road racing is that when you're out there, you could use aluminum foil and duct tape, and as long as it gets across the finish line, you're going to, have a much better chance.
I did to get home from Baja.
Yeah.
Literally, the turbo blew up. We fixed that on the chase truck. We're driving back by El Crucero, and the intake tube blows off.
Oof.
And we don't have a piece of it. On the side of the road, somebody had cooked something in like one of them big like turkey trays.
Yeah.
I got some snips out. We cut that thing up right there on the side of the road. Hose clamped her in there. Safety wired it on. Got us... it blew off a couple more times, but at least it got us to the border. We got across the border. We got Alexander Ford to get us some parts. And we met Jordan at the gas station at 10 o'clock at night, probably, in Yuma.
Nice.
We
You
put
made
that
it.
new piece on, so we got where we needed to go.
That's perfect.
But yeah, it's
see
not
some of it. I saw the 5/1600 car at the 1,000 broke a rear shock, and they hose clamped a breaker bar or something to the shaft, had solid suspension for the finish of the race, made it to the finish.
Dude, that's so great. I love hearing those stories, man. I can only imagine the kind of stuff that's in your guys' story vault with that kind of stuff.
We've been through it.
Do what you got to do.
The spring broke. Remember the spring broke on this?
Yeah.
At the 1,000.
On the double motor truck?
Last year.
Yeah, rear coil spring broke, and they're like, we're done. I go, no, we're not. We twisted her back together. We put 3 hose clamps on it. We finished the race.
Held the whole race.
And we won. And we won.
That's,
so it's unbelievable what...
It's that fighting mentality, I guess, right?
Yeah, we MacGyzered it all up,
That's perfect.
You tell people when something happens, well, you're down in Baja. Find out how you're going to fix it and get it going.
Hey, so our massive audience back here, Kenny and Lindsay, we're just laughing because you said
cheering.
If our audience didn't catch that, he said MacGyzer.
Yep, MacGyzer. Sometimes you have to do that,
No, it's a perfect way to do it, though. I mean, you made it across the finish. That's the goal, right? All right, let's continue on our rapid fire Q&A here. Favorite snack? And this is, I guarantee you guys have a favorite road snack because you guys travel a lot.
Rice Krispie treat.
Oh, is that where you're going? Rice Krispie treats are delicious.
One of them things I got now, the Sweetheart ropes.
Oh, Red Vines?
Chicharrones.
Those are pretty good, though, too.
No, the bad thing at Baja this time, Costco, M&M peanuts.
Yeah.
Oh.
Literally, besides what was stolen at when we're working on the trucks before the race, but we ate that whole.
Have you guys ever had the Kirkland, the Costco or whatever fries ones that are the pretzels with peanut butter inside them?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, those
were Vegas to Reno.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Whole bottle.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. Whole bottle of M&Ms for this trip.
And you can't go on any pre-running without string cheese. String cheese for sure.
Yep.
Supercross or motocross?
Supercross.
Both of you guys doing Supercross? You know that they're having 20 Anaheims this year. They're going to have a whole bunch of them, so it's going to be cool. You guys
be the whole series?
Pretty much, yeah. So I'm going to definitely try to make it out. I want Ryan Edwards to get us all into the Anaheim 1, and we'll have a big old KMC deal there.
And John, VP.
Yeah, that's what we need to do, man. And then they're going to have another round in Phoenix, too, so it'll be cool to see because it's
Well,
Supercross.
my luck is it's the weekend of the Mint 400 or something.
Yeah, it probably
usually is.
Yeah.
Or some races that weekend. So.
When was the last time you guys saw a Supercross race live?
10 years ago.
Really?
I did.
He did a year ago.
Silver State.
Oh, you went to...
And then they went to Vegas.
I got tickets for me and my son race, and we went to Supercross, and we got there, and we walked in right when the 450 main was starting.
Oh, you barely got to see it?
That was the only thing we saw.
Man, who was the winner that night?
They didn't even ask for our tickets to get in.
They're like, you idiots, just go in?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious, man.
Tomac won.
We'll see how they do this year, man. With all the switch-ups and stuff, I'm really excited to watch Supercross this year. This is going to be a really good one for you guys. And let me preface this one again. What other form of racing would you like to try? And we can talk like those little weird speedboats that go through the swamps. I mean, we could do monster trucks. You could do F1, any type of rally, anything. Even if it was BMX.
I think rally.
I think after watching some of the F1 stuff, it seems like that'd be a whole nother level.
Pretty phenomenal, right?
The whole thing.
You know what I always say, though, and maybe you guys could expand on this, though, rally would be cool, but do you think you could put an off-road guy, whether it's short course or desert racing, whatever it is, in an F1 car and see any success? Because those guys are so precise.
They'd have to change their attitude.
Yeah, I think it'd be way different, right?
You got to be kind of a smart ass to drive Formula One, seems like, but
the level of their precision.
Yeah, it's like, you know.
I mean, you watch some of the telemetry
the speeds
and stuff
and
on it is just like unbelievable.
Yeah, like they can place the car within millimeters of where, like, so I always thought, like,
I think there's drivers though that really can. A good motorcycle guy is a good off-road guy,
right?
Good.
Well, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah,
that's a very true statement.
Going from,
I beat Jimmy one time.
Did you?
Yeah.
In the little super
Mickey
lights
Thompson.
Mickey Thompson.
Oh, there we go. Claim to fame, right?
One time, you heard that.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Perfect. That needs to be brought out on social media, by the way.
For sure. Me and Jimmy go way back, though.
All right. This might be a question that's a little bit too not PG-13 for you guys. Who is your celebrity crush?
Well, only because we built Jesse James a truck.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock.
Oh, there you go. Okay. That's a good one. How about you, Jeff? You got a celebrity crush?
Blake Lively.
I don't even know who that is. Is that country singer?
No, Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know.
She's a real nice looking lady.
Yeah, she's all
But
right.
I don't know. Sandra was just.
She's all right.
When I was on Monster Garage and she was there and she was just a regular person.
She came to Laughlin.
She came to Laughlin. She
Oh,
went to
really?
Baja
I didn't
with
know
us.
that.
She went to Baja with us. She went, and not with us, but with Jesse. But she, she was at Laughlin whenever I broke my back.
Oh.
And then her.
It sounds like Rick is the one that's injury prone. He's like me.
I don't get hurt driving, so you don't know how to drive.
But it was
I won the Laughlin Leap. He got hurt trying.
Well, I do feel bad for him getting hurt, though.
Yeah, it was a Laughlin Leap thing, and it was one of them stupid things,
Jamie Campbell just commented in the Geiser Bros.
Yep, there you go.
All right, this is the last question of the night, but it's the most important one. Chips and guacamole or French fries and ranch?
Chips and guacamole.
Yeah, I feel you guys. Apparently you didn't get enough after the Baja 1000. You had to go back and get some more in Puerto
I had
Penasco.
more. I had me some shrimp cocktails. Had it all.
Thank God I got pizza today, man. All right, boys. Well, thank you very much for everything that you guys have done, not just for the Dirt Life and letting us come here, but for the whole off-road community in general, man. You guys have been doing a fantastic job for a long time.
I appreciate it, and we couldn't do it without all the people that are involved in off-road.
Yeah.
That support us and to help us out and to come talk to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a lot of the people that watch the show tonight, we really appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with us. Like I said, thank you to you guys. Thank you to all the employees for helping out. I don't know what his name was. I didn't catch it. The Mexican guy that was fixing that truck, he helped me load in all this stuff, man. It was like right when we get here, just getting friends all right off the bat. So
he's our longest employee.
There you go.
He is, really.
He was a rad guy, though, man. He kept looking at me to make sure I was okay, and I was like, "Good, I'm good, man."
Yeah.
So,
did you speak any Spanish to him?
Dude, I'd probably get myself in trouble. I can only order tacos. That's about as good as I can do.
Yeah.
But he was a nice guy, so
he's a good guy.
I definitely appreciate him doing all that
really
stuff.
Good. Really good
we really appreciate Lindsay setting up the show. That was awesome that she was able to do that. Corey for getting us all set up, and everyone that at the shop for letting us come in here and disturb their work. So we owe all you guys in the audience. We owe you guys a lot. So go over to the sponsor deals page on the dirtlifeshow.com, and you guys can get all kinds of stuff. You can learn how to get new sponsors there from Alex Streiler. You can get sponsor deals from all of the guys that support the show. And please support everybody that supports off-road. If you guys do want to get into a trophy truck or a pre-runner, you got to get on the waiting list, but feel free to give these guys a buzz, and you get one of the best ones on the market. Later this week, we're going to be at the Mint 400, as these guys are. We're going to be having some fun at Tech and Contingency on Thursday. I'll have the opportunity to be able to announce not just the UTV races, but I get to maybe talk about a little bit about some of the big truck stuff. So it's going to be a first for me, and I'm really looking forward to helping out do the broadcast. So that'll be cool. And our next show, actually, I don't know if it's going to happen. We might have to reschedule, but we have pro side-by-side racer Braden Baker coming on. So thank you to all the guys that support us, KMC, Motul, EFX Tires, Zollinger Racing Products, Shock Therapy. Thank you very much, Justin and Ryan, for coming on the show. The guys, I think I said Zollinger Racing Products, Cryo Heat, all the guys that do the metal treatment, and solderweld.com. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for living your dirt life with us. We really, really appreciate everything you guys have been doing for the show. I mean, we're already at, 4,500 followers. We gained like 500 last month, so keep it going. Get us as big as we can so that we can help support the off-road community. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.